To the Dice Never Lie Gaming Network. My name's Jared. I'll be your Dungeon Master Marathusha, Keeper of Secrets, and Master of Lore. Thank you very much for checking us out today. Whether you are a player coming in to recap some information from a previous session, or someone new to the channel, please don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and if you've got anything to comment, please do so, as it helps us get out to more and more players. Today we're going to be joining three of our players, Jinx, Davros, and Malchen, as they search for a little bit more into the world of Tolis, perhaps going after Davros' son Dalton, as well as checking out a haunted mansion of goblins, or even just slaying some rats. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoy. But I think that's a solid reason to basically understand that maybe Malchin doesn't feel 100% today, and maybe that means it's not necessarily a good idea to go after like a horde of goblins, and maybe it's a better idea to go like investigate the pit where Dalton found the entryway into like the undercity and like the tunnels below the city kind of thing. There's a lot of ways to kind of interpret like how that works. Um, Davros, is that your perception?
Yeah, the 19 is a perception.
Do you have proficiency in perception?
Nope, it's just straight roll.
Gotcha. Jinx and Malchin, did you guys roll? Okay,
Yeah, I rolled a total of 16.
gotcha. And Jinx, what did you get for a perception check?
6 plus 2 for 8.
Gotcha. So 16, 8, and what was yours again, Davros? My bad.
19.
All right, yeah. So I rolled a 13. When you guys are leaving this area and kind of heading out of the Warrens, you guys notice pretty quickly as, oh, you know what, Justin, you've not actually been here. Jinx, you've not actually like played since not too long ago. I alluded to it in kind of a recap there, but not too long ago, a message was sent to you guys that at first was vague. At some point, Malchin came back to the Crooked Skinner one night, and there was a fire here in the Warrens, like in the hovels all around, and there was a kind of like really nice moment where everybody bands together because you either put out the fire or everything burns. It's a horrific thing to have a fire in the city. But you guys were just able to save the Crooked Skinner from burning down with this fire that took like kind of like 3 football fields of homes out. Many people were displaced, but that's kind of just what the Warrens are. It's a constant reshaping. So they're building up new hovels around this place, but there's still charred, burned earth when you guys leave the Crooked Skinner. And that's part of the first message from the Pale Dogs, where it was like, hey, it's time for you guys to go. With like the overall heightened awareness, though, you guys have this kind of let's see. Yeah, you guys have this kind of awareness as you are leaving, and you start to notice that you do have like children kind of like tailing you. What kind of thoughts do you guys have as you start to notice that some of these pale dogs are following you? Do you have like a proactive response that you want to try to do something? Do you want to just like attempt to lose them by running? Do you want to try to lose them by like stealthing into an alleyway and hope you can disappear? Uh,
Yeah, can I do if they're like basically following us at some point in time, can I kind of like look for an elevated area just visible, maybe 6 or 7 feet off the ground, just kind of out of reach, and do a minor illusion and just put like a little treasure chest or something up there?
So the Warrens is like um very third world, fifth world kind of like stacks of like houses on top of each other. Again, all of Tolis from the east to the west goes upward in a hill, like a natural hill anyways. And this is very much like, oh man, Chris, you had the name for the Brazilian like ghettos that build like this where they're built on the hill.
Oh, favela?
Yeah, the favelas. So this is very much like a favela. Getting elevation is entirely easy. A treasure chest is going to look out of place, but you can
Maybe
certainly
just like
try.
a gold medallion or something, just something to kind of like catch their eye, like riches to just like buy us a little bit of time if they like see it and get distracted.
Excellent. So, like, how do you want to get the others to like recognize this? Are all of you going to effectively? Are you trying to say like, all right, let's climb higher, and everybody like basically get off of ground level and start to climb on top of homes, and just like check out like that, and you're just going to try to like create a gold medallion that hopefully, as they follow you, catches their eyes,
We don't really
or are
need to
you?
like divert the course necessarily. I just meant like if it's just like on the ground in front of them, they would just like run up and like try to grab it and realize it's fake. But if it's just like visible but kind of out of reach, it would like take them a minute to like investigate it before realizing, and it would just buy us some time.
Gotcha. So it's just as much. It's more like you might be able to get some of them. They're not necessarily like a group who is following you, but it's more that you are like looking around and watching, and you are constantly catching, like that this person is watching you here, and then like 5 minutes later you like look behind you and I'm like, I swear that's the same kid again, and you're starting to notice that there are people following you like on that level more than that there's like a group who's constantly behind you. So if you just go for that on your own level, let me just what is that like, I think there's an intelligence save related to how convincing it is.
Like in if they investigated it is, but
So roll a
yeah,
percentile for me.
it's
Roll a
spell save
D100,
DC.
and we'll see how many of them actually get close enough to it to get intrigued by it.
So it's
Gotcha.
60.
And what's your spell save DC?
14.
Ooh, this is one of those things that uses your proficiency, doesn't it? Are you rolling proficiency dice today?
I'm not sure what you mean.
That's what I mean about the proficiency dice like rule.
Oh
If
yeah,
you
yeah. If you have experimental rules, I'll use them. I don't care. Just tell me what to do.
Yeah, so I think that means that your proficiency, your spell DC is actually going to vary with the proficiency dice. Because I think technically you should roll a d4, and that'll tell us whether your proficiency today is 13, 14, 15, or 16. So yeah, roll a d4, and we'll see what the actual DC is of this. See, I like that idea, because if it uses proficiency, so it's a little bit lower here where it's a 13. So as you guys have this like go down, Jinx kind of like lets you guys know you guys have a chance where two of them seem to stop and like basically are like kind of held back, and they're investigating this little like gold locket that they found on the ground, and you see these two boys like start to like basically like punch each other. Two of the people who are following you are currently distracted. What are you guys thinking from here? Do you want to try to then like Davros multiple times you've like basically brought them into an ambush situation and turned the tides on them? Do you guys want to then redouble the speed that you try to flee and get away? What kind of thoughts do you guys have as like you basically cause a little fight between at least a few of these pale dogs following you?
Davros is going to kind of look towards Malchen and Jinx and nod off in the direction away and kind of like get going. I'll watch our backs um, if they want to kind of start trying to essentially put some distance between us.
So your intention is just to kind of stop and hold off there?
Well, he'll follow if Jinx and Malchin are start to move, but essentially he's going to kind of keep like a rear guard essentially. So he's following with them, but kind of keeping himself between Malchin, Jinx, and the if the pale dogs follow.
And Jinx, thoughts as Davros kind of like halts and kind of like turns to face them?
Yeah, Malchen will give a nod to start like running a bit away. Like he really doesn't want to fight today, if he can help it.
You're going to keep him in sight so you can help him at range?
Yeah, but he put some distance between them. So
And does that sound like what Jinx would do? Kind of stick with Malchin? The two of you basically get some range and keep an eye on Davros as he basically like stops backwards and encounters the other like followers.
I think I would stay pretty close to Davros, but definitely be like using him as a meat shield as best as possible. Maybe stay like 10 or 15 feet away from him.
Gotcha. So just beyond. Yeah, so you guys can stop in an alleyway that has like families still nearby. So there are other people in this area, and you very quickly start to notice that there are still two more people who very quickly recognize that you guys are there. Let's go for. So when they see that you've kind of stopped and like hold this position, all of a sudden you see as like this one like signals over to another and you like lose sight of those two for a moment. A few seconds passes, 30 seconds passes. When like 30 seconds or a minute passes and you don't see them again, where you've been seeing them kind of like keeping a regular eye on you. Is that where Davros kind of like turns to Jinx and continue forward, and then like Malchin is kind of say 30 or 60 feet ahead, continues on?
Yeah, I think that would be enough time that Davros would be. Yeah, he would have at this point kind of he'd have his weapon out, but he would be yeah, thinking either they decided not to mess with us, or they're going to get others. And either way, though, let's go catch up with Malchin and just get out of here.
Gotcha. So at present, let me have you guys roll d6s for me. Effectively right now that gold charm was enough. Like that was mission accomplished. You'll get XP for that if you guys roll a 1. No more ones. Yeah. It was enough that those dogs, the two who continued to follow you, when they noticed that you had stopped, like they were not prepared for that encounter. You will get some though in the long run for kind of distracting those two like that, or like the first two. But that gets you guys outside of the Warrens. You're effectively kind of stepping out into like right between kind of Midtown and Guildsman District. If you're going up towards the North Ward, it behooves you to leave the Warrens through kind of the more northern position, closer towards Midtown. Unless you guys had any thoughts on what you needed to accomplish, is there any reason that you're not kind of leaving on this like northwestern point of the Warrens and almost right at the bridge over Kings River?
Oh, so what was it that we were about to investigate or whatever?
You're kind of going towards that goblin house where you guys originally went to investigate the ghosts, and it was filled with goblins.
Yeah, I think that makes that would make sense that we'd be going that direction. Probably as we're leaving, maybe Davros is noticing Malchin seems to be a little kind of under the weather, and he's going to kind of like maybe once we catch back up to him and we're kind of like getting out of the Warrens, he's going to just kind of like clap him on the shoulder and you sure you're up for this?
He will give you like a bit of a look about. Not really, maybe, but I'll do it. So,
I doubt that goblins are going anywhere. We could. There's something else you'd prefer. I'd have no objection.
There's still a bounty on Ratmen and the Rat Tails.
What was the deal with that one?
The Commissar's Men, I think this is just something that I have posted in either information or the quest board. I think under quest board. Commissar's Men basically has a bounty out. There's currently a plague kind of running through the city, and it is being spread by the Rat Men. Um, so there is just was it, I think it's 3 gold a tail. Yes. Yeah, three gold lions per rat tail. And that is effectively just one of those things where you guys can pretty much go into the sewers on almost any main street of the city that is not the Warrens. The Warrens is the only part of the city that doesn't have sewers. And you can basically go down into the sewers, and that's just one of those places where you randomly can find rat nests, as well as the potential of finding rat men, which starts to get to the point where you can find really nice things that they've kind of found underground, and that's part of where at present a lot of the magical items have come from. But again, this city is meant to go down. That's why the adventurers here are called the Delvers, and the Delvers Guild is like the Adventurers Guild. Is theirs, and Malchin saw the map of it yesterday. He could potentially describe to you, if you would like, Malchin. You could describe the networks that you now know of, having gone into the Delvers library.
yeah, I mean, describe off the head, not really. Um,
Gotcha. Did you see 2 tunnel systems, or did you see like 20 tunnel systems?
oh, yeah, lots of tunnel systems. There was like the
It's a
map.
beehive of
Yeah,
So you guys have a certain sense of this. Among some of the other things is Malchin can even describe to you that goblin house may be a much larger danger than you think also, because Malchin saw the tunnel system that exists under that part of the northern ward and has a sneaking suspicion that that house might be infested with goblins because of the tunnels that are below it.
So if you're feeling a little under the weather, perhaps we put that off to another day. And well, I never thought I'd say this, but we could dip our toes in the sewer.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably prefer that, no matter how horrid that sounds, walking in the sewers. But yeah, probably
I
have
mean,
much.
if what you're saying is true, there could be literally dozens or even hundreds of goblins down below, and that's just their exposed point.
And from what I remember of that map, it was a pretty large area, and well, telling how many goblins could have gotten there.
Do you remember the probably like kind of three main features that you could have taken from that map?
I remember an underground lake. Ah, crap. Coming up with things that I saw yesterday. That is hard.
Long day of work in between. I think if you do an intelligence for me to see what you remember, I can describe it. And this can be for both of those maps that you looked at, because I think that is a viable thing for even the
Yeah,
six.
that is the six. That
Yeah,
seems
I'd
appropriate.
say in the long run, that's one of those things where it's enough for you to recognize, like as far as like the beehive and kind of like the ant-like nature of the cross section. You can also recognize that like the Bane Warrens effectively only exists underneath the spire. The rest of the city is filled with labyrinths and tunnels. Not all of them were created by evil, just as much as not all of them were created by good, but it is a massive hive underneath the city. But as far as that location in the North Ward goes, in the Northern Market, there were natural caverns, there are like halls, and then there is also like a small like lake slash sea in that area. But again, it kind of like sits into that idea of recognizing the North Ward on some level. There is a danger into the fact that like that's that neighborhood of so when he was there talking to Shad, it's basically like pointing out Errol's house and then the house that he knew. And Errol or Shad was like able to effectively grab a map. And when he's looking at it, he's like, oh, okay, I've got a map of like there was an invisible line. Oh, it's because I'm holding my push. He like pulls out a map of like this area and he's like, we have these tunnels mapped underneath that area. So it's one of those things where, yeah, I think it's a solid idea to put off the goblins for now. And in the long run, you guys could go for, again, this is one of the things, you can jump into the sewers pretty much anywhere in the city and find something to kill, make some gold on it, and potentially strike it rich. Um, or you guys could go to the location where Dalton originally found a entryway into like some more mysterious tunnels, which are potentially more dangerous. But again, it is one of those things where um, higher danger, higher reward.
Yeah, so Davros will he would mention the tunnels that he had found. Dalton had initially gone in. We've also I don't know if we'd be able to find our way back to the one where that Malchin and he had investigated where we found the person who actually put us on to the Enin. I think we kind of wandered around for about an hour or so after heading
Malchen
down.
has been back there. That was not meant to be something that was initially impossible to get back to. And I mapped this out like afterwards. So this is kind of like a rough sketching again. This is just my map creation, and I want to make this map kind of grow with you guys over time. So, like at this point, you guys know, like Malchin's token right now with Kertoa over there is next to the scouts, guides, and porters. The Delvers Guild is that center portion. And then the entryway to the Delvers Square is the large circled stairway. Um, just to clarify again, stairways are always like those lines where they get smaller as you go down. So the stairway up to the roof is that big square one, like up into the Delver Square. So this is the initial kind of like Undercity Markets, Delvers Guild, and the Scouts, Guides, and Porters. I feel like I named some of those locations that are highlighted in pink for Chris last night when he was looking at maps of this areas and the Delvers have gone through. I did not write them down yet because I was hoping to go over it after like listening to it again and like label them. But in the long run, it doesn't really matter. I think I said like one of these, I think the northern one is a place that somebody effectively has mapped out. The one like northeast is something where a Delver has claim over it, so you guys can't technically go there without like being an affront to his property. And then I think I labeled this one for like the sewers, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Davros is good with going into just essentially going into the sewers and seeing what we can find. Smashing rats is just as fine as smashing goblins, as far as I'm concerned.
Has Davros encountered one of the rat men nests?
Yes. Well, I don't know if he got to the nest, but I think he was when he was investigating with Mukhtar, where we found that little underground. The time when he found the magical
On like the
armor.
prison cells, right?
So I think that was with Dalton, where we rescued the woman, Kejin. Davros, when he went with Mukhtar, they found the little, there was like a lake, underground lake, um, and some of the rat men. I don't know if I don't. Oh, and then it might have been.
I think you guys ended the session when you actually found that there were metal bars across the tunnel, and
Oh
neither of
yeah,
you had lockpicks.
we couldn't
But
break
that
through.
was you and Malchin?
No, that was me and Mukhtar, the NPC.
Okay. Yeah, that was definitely my mistake there. So I
But yeah,
would
we
say
can.
you could get back to that location with an intelligence check, like effectively, can you remember how to get back there? Otherwise, it's really easy to go down into the sewers, or you guys could go into the Delver Square and into the Undercity, and at least Malchin knows like that one way down leads into the sewers.
Yeah, Davros can try and remember, and mention that he saw the bar doors and I wasn't able to get past them, but maybe with Malchin and Jinx's help might be able to, if he can remember.
I didn't mean to click on that. Now, the other place that the two of you went, Malchin and Davros, is where you found. This is what you were initially saying. I forgot about this. You guys found a like more humanoid inhabited place where you guys found that cook who led you to the inn. And that's another one of those things. You could remember to get back to either of those with that 18. You could go back to the place that was like humanoid, and you could go after them, or you could remember the place that was the rats that you went with Mukhtar, and you could go after them.
Yeah, I think Davros would maybe suggest the place with the rat men. Because
Does that
we let that person go. So if they warn any of their friends, they might have beefed up security in the other place. And he would mention that he, with the place with the rats, the rat men, rat folk, is where he found the armor that he was able to sell for, quite a bit of gold, and kind of the reason he had enough money to buy Dalton's freedom. So maybe there's more stuff there that we haven't didn't find on our first foray.
sound good for everyone to go after those rat men?
Yeah, if everyone's up for it, I'm fine with it. Sounds much more appealing to go after rat men than just actual rats.
And Malchen's up for it. Well, that seems easier, and even Ratman. Promise of maybe finding something that can sell for quite a lot is very enticing right now.
And you know what? This is something that I forgot about. Technically, Davros, you kind of got the dog out of that little encounter that Malchin and you had when you guys saved that dog. Um, you can honestly have him following you as a pet. Otherwise, he can be a guild pet, like that he hangs out at the Crooked Skinner. As far as I was concerned, the reason he wasn't with you the last time we played, though, was simply because like maybe he ran away for a day and then he showed up like later that day, kind of thing. But that was more because we forgot. But don't forget that if you don't want it, Malchin could also have it. But you guys kind of have a dog between the two of you right now.
Right, right. Yeah, Davros probably wouldn't be bringing the dog with him if so he would probably either leave it at the Crooked Skinner, or if Malchin didn't want it, or somebody else didn't want the dog, he could maybe trying to essentially have it kind of act as almost like a guard dog for Dalton while he's recovering off in the house.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's definitely a solid idea. Um, I'm about to reveal an entire map. This is a classic sewer map. There's next to no reason that you guys cannot see all of this, because normally the sewers are just crosshatches. So, in general, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to reveal all of this. I swear Owlbear Rodeo has awesome fog of war.
Yeah, I've seen it. So
All right, so in the northwest of this map, you should see effectively where you guys can start your characters. In general, part of why I say it doesn't matter that I've revealed the map to you is because Solus has large sewer paths going east, or rather west to east, going downhill with the hill of the city. So most of the water flow is always west to east. And I say water, but it is not water. It is still a sewer. There are locally kind of carved auxiliary sewers that run north to south and south to north. The flow in those is always questionable. There's often times where there are clogs in areas of the sewers, and that's where a lot of those kind of come into play as auxiliaries, as they help like that overflow to kind of correct itself. But effectively, if I ever have you guys start on one of these and you decided to go north, and we're at the top of the map, I'm really just going to move you into a different section of like this crosshatch. and let you basically explore from there. As far as Davros is concerned, you've been in this. You remembered quite well which sewer entry you came in. I'm pretty sure it was from the northwest here that you guys started, and I'm pretty sure you would remember as well that you basically found along this kind of like this like path to the east of where you entered, that you found like a break in the wall that the stone had kind of like crumbled in, and that's where you had like an entryway into the actual sewer area or the Ratman area. Um, so I think you know all of that at this point, and I think that puts you guys at a solid place of like where you're kind of starting here. Do you have any questions about that? Do you see it, Justin? Jinx?
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Do you want to place Jinx with them?
Should be good. Can you guys see me on there?
Yeah, I
Yep.
see it now. I didn't see it before, so you might have just been underneath somebody there. While you guys are actually moving through the sewers here, what are you doing for light inside of here? Is everybody lighting a torch? Do you guys have thoughts about that at present?
Yeah, Davros will have a torch lit up.
I think Malchen will also have one. Just safety. Make sure that one doesn't get put out.
Yeah. Do you have any sort of light coming from Jinx?
I don't think I get torches with my character.
Gotcha. I was more thinking spell. Yeah, bards tend to start with the candles, and candles hardly even do any light.
Yeah, I'll use a candle to light a cigarette. Kind of like the idea of like you guys carrying actual torches, and then I'm just walking around smoking a cigarette with a candle.
All right, my bad here. This is actually one of the maps that I had crash or I lost when I had my memory clear. I'm about to put you guys on a different map here in a second. Um,
But if I recall, it was along like the southern end of one of these eastern going passages where Davros had found the weak
yeah, you
spot.
can't really see that dark little spot there quite yet. Damn it. But that dark little spot was meant to represent it. That's like where you found it. Again, it doesn't matter that you can see this whole map. I'm about to put down some rats though, because as you guys like walk through here, you're gonna hear the skitter as there is like a little bit of kind of attention being drawn towards you, and I want you guys to roll a perception check here.
It'd be an 8 for Davros.
Total of 20 for Malchen.
And I'm 8 as well.
Machin. So as they are kind of moving, you start to immediately kind of like pick up a little bit of the skitter of some of these rats kind of moving in this area. And very quickly, you are going to spot one of these tiny little rats that has, like, you immediately lock onto this open skull where there is a swollen brain sticking out of this thing's head between its ears, and you can immediately see like the throb as this brain and this rat is like standing on its hind legs, and it is staring at you from about like 60 feet away. But as that happens, you guys are going to have a few more kind of rats coming out and kind of swarming at you from different angles here. And I'm gonna have you guys roll initiative. But again, the one like farthest to the west, Malchin, that's the one that you zero onto as the. I think you know what it is.
Yeah, I think I get what you mean with that. I remember awesome rat from my last time in the sewers.
Jinx is 4 total.
And 11 for Davros.
Jinx, a fun little thing for a bard is once you have Jack of all trades, you get half a proficiency die added to your dexterity to keep in mind.
I got a 9 total.
My dexterity is not bad. I have 16 for +3, but I rolled natural 1.
All right, so 9 is the highest of yours, of the three of you.
11 for Davros. I rolled an 8, but I have a +3.
I'm actually going to try how a different DM style of doing initiative here, and I'm basically going to put my monsters in between you guys instead of just going hard off of there. And theoretically, that'll actually stop some of like the swarming effect, I think, because I rolled all of them above you guys, basically. Yeah. So I am going to start with the little guy. Yeah. So as it kind of like runs up behind, um, you're not necessarily even thinking about this at present, Jinx, but you're just kind of like walking by, like smoking your cigarette, and all of a sudden you just notice like you feel little steps on you, and as you look down, like your leg is like lit up and glowing, and then all of a sudden you're gonna notice this rat like running up your leg and onto your chest as it like bites down into like the crux of your arm and your armpits. This rat is like going to run up you, and its skull and its brain is like glowing with light as it tries to bite into you. What do I got? A +2 on that. So a 12 to hit Jinx.
No, I'm 14.
Gotcha. So yeah, it just bites into like a chunk of leather, but you've just got this small, like glowing rat with its brain like exposed to you. Davros, what would you like to do? You've got rats coming out of like the hole in front of you where you guys had gone previously. You've got a little swarm of like 20 or 30 rats like across the water, and then there's another swarm and another tiny rat is now on Jinx.
Yeah, so Davros is going to, he'll like shout back, hang on, Jinx. You can't reach him just yet, but he is going to, he's going to have to drop the torch. So he's got 2 hands free to bring out the maul, and he is going to just kind of like charge forward and attempt to essentially take, like as he's running, like using the momentum to swing down at this rat that's starting to come out of the rats that are starting to come out of the opening that he had found earlier. Yeah, just gonna.
Gotcha. That's actually the big rat.
Oh, the one above up here.
The one above you that you're now at, that's one of the swarms of like 20. My bad. The biggest counters are actually the most rats. That rat is a single rat that is like a 10-pound rat.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so I think he'd probably go into the water and go for the larger swarm, and but same thing essentially, moving to swing. Probably he would have tried to drop his torch before he went into the water, so still up on the platform.
Gotcha. So kind of like leaving that behind as you almost like try to like leap across.
Yeah, and maybe even just like landing like with a splash in the water as he's like swinging the maul out at this swarm here.
So it's always hard to tell how deep the water is going to be at any given point. These aren't necessarily like fully like leveled off like areas of sewer. Do you want to like leap across, or are you just kind of like jumping in and hoping it's not like super deep or super shallow kind of thing?
I guess you would try to leap across to solid ground. Yeah.
Gotcha. So let me have you start with a dexterity acrobatics check just to like get across.
Okay. Do you want me to use that 15 or keep that as the attack and roll the dexterity?
That's perfectly fine for me. We can say that you're golden there on the actual dex check. My bad. I wanted you to make that check regardless. But that gets you across and you can cover to them, and then you can make a swing on these rats.
Okay. That should be definitely a
Do
hit
you
for
have
19
athletics? Gotcha. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a hit.
for 11 damage, bludgeoning. Oh, no, sorry. 9 damage.
Gotcha.
Not raging.
Gotcha. So solid bit of damage to them. You definitely kill like a few of these rats. You will recognize as you're like fighting these rats, there's a certain level of there's so many rats that one swipe through can only do so much damage. But again, this is fighting the mass of rats just as much as it is fighting a singular enemy. That's kind of a way of saying like swarms tend to have resistance towards the like 3 melee damage types.
Yep, makes sense.
No bonus attack for you. Any other movement? Otherwise, it's gonna go to. I didn't actually mark off which swarm was which, so odds will be that swarm. Yeah, so it's gonna be that swarm. Basically, they are going to swarm all over Davros, and we're gonna go for. They don't. They don't even get a modifier. It's purely their proficiency. 14 to hit you.
That will miss.
So this is far more than that they're missing. It's just that there's all of these rats biting into you, but where they're finding the most convenient places to bite, like the size of them versus the size of you, the most convenient places that they're biting is like all of your little like leather straps onto your like blacksmith's apron. So you just feel all of this extra weight on you, but like they're not actually biting into your flesh. None of them are finding any places that it's actually you they're chewing into. And that's going to go to Malchen. You've got a much clearer vision of this fight as your friends are being swarmed. What would you like to do?
I will drop my torch, pull out my bow, and try to shoot the little rat going for Jinx.
Gotcha. Go for it.
That is a total of 10.
So as you shoot by, it's one of those things where you're almost like clinking off of Jinx's armor, and the arrow is just kind of like scattering into the distance. Let me have you roll any die. If it's odd, that arrow is like entirely gone. But is there any other movement from you, or does that otherwise sound good at this point?
That is a 3, and I'm gonna move a little bit towards Jinx.
Gotcha. In the long run, I'm not even sure why I'm worried about that. You guys are in a city setting. I'm pretty much never going to have you in a place where your arrow count matters in the least bit. It's kind of silly, but it feels weird not to remove an arrow as you shoot it in a sewer. Because I feel like you probably wouldn't even want to collect that arrow, anyways. We're going to go for this rat actually crosses over. and as it kind of like leaps into like the water, doesn't get any cleaner, and it's going to kind of climb up and like just gnawing into the ankle of Davros. It's going to try to get a chunk out of Davros. Don't think I'm going to get it there with a 7. I think that's going to be a 9 at best from this thing, and it's going to go to Jinx. What would you like to do?
So I can clearly tell this is not just a normal rat. It's like glowing and its brain's exposed and there's all kind of stuff.
Its exposed brain is what actually is glowing. But yeah, that is not just a normal rat. And theoretically, Malchin, did you yell anything out on your turn? Because I feel like that could have also been something that potentially.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he would have yelled that. I'm not exactly what it is with the rat, but that rat is special and to focus it.
Yeah, there's plenty of reason for you to know that rat is a good rat to kill first.
So that's that. I'll fight the glowing rat and I'm going to hit it with some vicious mockery. Disgusting creature, get away from me.
So let me have you roll a d4 so I know your exact modifier for this one. But it's a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, it's wisdom and it would be 13 because it's -1 from the 1.
Statistically, you're not supposed to get lower. Oh, nat 1 from it. Vicious Mockery does how much damage? A d4?
1 damage.
All right, well, let's see how many hit points it has. It is technically cocked, but it is cocked almost on a 2. But I'm going to re-roll it because there's still a chance you can kill it. And I think Vicious Mockery needs to have those times when it does get a kill. So you do see as like the rat, like oddly enough, seems to recognize what you're saying, and it like stops and like looks at you in the eye, and you see it doesn't like shed a tear, but like it almost like it's reacting, and it's far too human for what is comfortable for this like nasty, disgusting, plague-bearing thing that moments ago was swimming through trash and shit, and is now gnawing on you, and is now acting like it's hurt. And it's gonna go.
Oh, wait, I still have more stuff to do.
Oh, my bad.
So can I just move like maybe like 20 feet? I don't know. Can I get past?
It's kind of a weird thing because technically it is on top of you, so it's riding along. But yeah, you can definitely move.
Oh, I mean that's fine if it's still on me, but I'm definitely trying to run away from it, regardless if it's still on top of me. I think it's more funny if I'm running away and it's still on me. And then I'm gonna just bonus action a little something on my loot, and I'm gonna give Davros advantage with my bonus action.
This next swarm is going to rush up after Malchen and try to gnaw into you. Looks like it's going to stop on the 15. 15 hit you?
Yeah, it just hits me.
This is going to be bad. Oh, it almost stopped on the 2, but it fell back onto the 6. So that's going to down Malchen. And this is where I am going to remember to use uh, the massive damage rule. So, what is it? If that attack also bring creatures zero, it will cause lingering injuries. Let me have you roll a d10, please.
An 8?
My bad. I need a d10 and a d20. Can you roll a d20 for me? Roll high. Roll really, really high. Don't roll a
rolled-
1.
I rolled an 8. So an 8 and an 8.
I think roll a Constitution save for me, please. Oh, my bad. Never mind. This is every time you attempt to do an action. You currently have a broken rib. Every single time, like you're unconscious right now, but towards the future, you have this lingering injury that is going to be something that you always have to deal with. Every time you want to do something, an action in combat, you have to roll a Constitution saving throw against a DC of 10, as you have a broken rib. Um, Technically, as soon as you get magical healing, this will be cured. But for now, you have that lingering injury of a broken rib. And I have a feeling that Jinx is the magical healing that you will require. But from there, we are going to go to the brain. I think the brain bug's gonna try to do what it does. It is intelligent enough to know to go after and kill the person on the ground. It will have advantage against you.
Now it
And it's
will
gonna
also
try.
have disadvantage too, so it should just be straight up, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, my bad. It is straight up. So it is the first of those dies, which is the 12 right now. Which, by the way, if you guys ever want to see like all of the rolls broken down, just click on like the D6 that shows up on Owlbear Rodeo, and that breaks them down. 14. What's your armor? I think you said 15.
Yeah, it's 15.
Yep. So the brain bug is going to come up, and as it tries to like bite down on your throat, you've got that like neck guard, as if you were prepared for vampires, and this little rat can't get past it. And it's going to try to bite down and fail to get at your throat. Oh no, technically that's a +2, so it has 16. It actually is a hit. You're going to lose 2 death saves. My bad. That's going to take us to Davros, though.
Yeah, so Davros kind of like as you swing these rats, he's turning and he sees Malchen goes down, and Malchen, who just helped him rescue his son, is going. So that seeing that is going to drive Davros into a rage, and he continues to swing at. So it's one swarm, and then it's this one just kind of larger solo rat. Is that?
Yeah, like the swarm is just a group of rats on you, and then the big rat is a separate rat.
Yeah, so he is going to kind of as the bigger rat kind of comes up to join the swarm. He's going to kind of like with a almost like a sideways swing and almost trying to like use the momentum of that to kind of continue swinging into the horde. As he is, but he's also moving towards. He'll also start moving towards Malchen after the swing. He is going to be swinging recklessly at this point.
You have advantage from. Oh wait, no, you have bardic inspiration from Jinx, but you can take advantage with that. So, and this is at the swarm.
Yes. So I think I am going to. Oh, and I got to roll my
D4,
efficiency.
and then what's your strength modifier? +3. I think that's already a
Yeah.
hit.
So it'll be a 14 plus at least one.
Yeah, solid hit there. And for damage against that.
Yeah. So he's actually swinging at now the bigger rat, and trying to if he can
Actually,
kill
that's for
that.
the big rat.
So that will be let's see. Now that he's raging, it gets +2 to that. So it'd be a 10 damage total. And he is moving basically towards Malchen, as far as he can get.
All right, so 10 damage. Oh my god, I can't believe that. So yeah, that rat is almost destroyed. It essentially has 1 hit point left after taking that incredibly massive wound. Roll a d10 for me, please.
4.
So that rat just like gets stunned as you hit it with that attack.
And they will have advantage on me since I went reckless.
Gotcha. The swarm, I'm going to take that attack that I already rolled to start it off. Should hit you with an 18 as you flee there.
Yep, that'll hit.
I guess I should fish for a 20 though. But that's so fucking cocked. I can't believe how often it. What does it call that? It calls that the 4. It's cocked between a 2 and a 4. No better there. Let me just re-roll another d6 for a 1 and end on the 3. Should be total of 3 damage as they bite into you when you flee away there.
Is
And
that
then the other
3
rat.
Sorry, is that 3 after resistance?
6 total.
Or... Yep,
6
okay.
total, 3 after your resistance. The other rat was stunned after your attack, and then that swarm is basically going to kind of follow you up, try to make its same attack on you here. Oh, you're still reckless, so still advantage.
Yep, anything before my next turn has advantage.
I swear, both of those dice are cocked. 5 and 15 and 8 and 10. I don't. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Can't help it. 6 and 14 is cocked. It's going to stop on the 16 though. Yeah, it's going to stop on the 6. So yeah, that one is going to miss as it chases you down, and that is going to go to Malchen. This is a death save that you have to make. Do you have inspiration right now?
Oh, I think so.
Does anybody have actual inspiration right now?
I don't. I think Jinx would have gotten it from that one on the initiative roll, unless he used it.
Oh yeah, you rolled a 1 on initiative.
Yeah, I got a 1 plus 3 for initiative, so 4
So
total.
my bad. You would have gained inspiration when you got that. Being that Malchen has the potential of dying on this one, would you like to give Malchen your inspiration for this roll so he can roll 2d20 instead of a single?
Yeah, definitely. Today's a terrible day to die, so I will play my little lute and give him my inspiration.
So let's get 2d20 from you, Malchen. Roll a 20.
10 and a 10. So
10 works. That's all you need. That is a success. That goes from Malchen to the stunned plague rat, and then it's going to go to Jinx.
Okay, so just to double check, when you said like the brain or whatever, or like the whatever you said, that's the rat that's glowing, right? That's the one.
Yeah, the one that is on top of Malchen, the single but still tiny rat, is the one that has like a glowing exposed brain. And it's also the one that's like currently biting Malchin's throat.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna be able to kill it, but I'm gonna go ahead and bonus action healing word on him. So I'll like healing word him, and then I'm gonna do my action vicious mockery on that same rat again. Oh wait, at this point in time, am I considered to be like in combat or no?
With a saving throw, it doesn't change anything.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah, I got you.
you are in combat. Like if you were to cast a spell that has like a ranged attack, but right now it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what your spell DC is. I will fail, so you can roll the D4 on that one, and then you can also roll the healing word D4 for how much you heal Malchin for afterwards.
Okay, so the first one is a 2. The second one is the healing word. That's 4 plus 4 from my spellcasting ability, so 8 life you get back.
Yeah, with max HP of 6.
So when this like rat like looks at you again, and like instead of like looking at you with these almost like teary eyes as you're insulting it again, it like looks to you right as its like brain is like pulsing and its eyes just like pop and explode out of blood, and this thing just like drops down on top of Malchin. And while Malchin's like coming to and this rat is dying, silence goes over the room as all of the rats currently around you stop moving. And it's going to go to Davros.
So surely, as I'm like attacking this thing and I'm like playing my flute, casting the spell, I like hit the high note and I'm like, I'm the Rat King, and that makes its head explode.
Yeah, it's like crystal. Like when you can like shatter crystal, you like make its eyes explode when you're singing that.
That's perfect.
Well, I think Davros, in the midst of his rage, is not going to immediately notice that the rats have stopped moving, and he is going to be still moving towards Malchin and still swinging at the swarm that's basically had followed him, that's on him. So he will kind of turn and swinging recklessly at them again, not realizing in his rage that they seem to have something seems to have happened to them. Um, but that's only going to be even with advantage, that'll only be a 11 to hit.
That is a solid hit.
And that will be for 13 damage as he moves, essentially tries to leap across over to the other side.
Gotcha. Do a dex check on that one. Dex acrobatics if you have acrobatics proficiency. And then after that, let me get a d10 from you as well.
So that is a 12 on acrobatics, but no proficiency.
Fine. That's perfect enough to get across. No problem.
And D10, you said?
Yes, please.
3.
So yeah, as you smash into those rats, they are actually just like right for the slaughter. As you do start to notice that they're like not missing, and it's just like sweeping across them, and just the entire pile just gets smashed like into the wall. The ones that aren't getting killed and like decimated and like exploding into flesh are just as much being like just like stunned against the wall. None of them seem to be moving by the time you like go to leap across. Effectively, they are stable at 0 hit points.
Gotcha. Okay, and Davros is like shouting like Malchen as he's like leaping across to rejoin the two of his companions. But that is all for Davros.
Gotcha. So those are the ones. One, they were stunned. It's going to go to Malchin anyways. But Malchin, you are down on the ground. I believe you had your bow in hand, so your bow is technically on the ground right now. But you have stunned rats. Basically, like the rat swarm is like staring at you, like frozen in motion of running towards you as that little brain rat dies on top of you. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna stand up and pull out one of my short swords and try to stab into the rat swarm to get some of them at least while they're not moving.
Gotcha. Don't you have the feat that you could draw both though? Both short swords?
Oh right, I do. I forgot about that. So yeah, I'll draw them both.
No, you can make your main attack against it and then follow off with the offhand.
That's a 15 for the main attack.
Solid hit with the main.
For 8 damage. Yeah, and then a dirty 20 on the bonus side
Solid hit as well.
for 4 damage.
Excellent. Yeah, there's no way those are gonna live to go again because they go after Jinx. Because it's gonna go to Jinx here. You guys get a whole nother round, and then those rats get a chance to go. So this is one of those things where you guys can essentially, like, in the recognition of decimating these things, you can basically kill off all of these rats here before anything else really happens, like of a danger to you guys. What sort of thought do you all have as you like kill these last two like swarms of rats? There's a certain level of recognition, like how many tails there are on these tiny little rat swarms, and if they can't get away to flee, like when they start to value their life over like listening to like the brain rat, um there's a lot of tails there. What kind of things do you guys have in mind as you kind of clean up this fight?
Oh, so I guess I got a knife, so I would be like harvesting some rat tails, just kind of humming to myself my new Rat King song.
Gotcha. So what are you going after when you go to harvest like at first? We'll basically say like two of you can go towards the swarms and start to harvest from the swarms. And let me get I think investigation kind of works for you could do investigation or sleight of hand or medicine. I'll give those three. What would you guys like to roll? Two of you can choose.
I'll do the sleight of hand if that's all right.
Yeah, and Malshin would also do a sleight of hand.
Gotcha. So let me have the two of you do sleight of hands. They both have almost the exact same number of hit points. So as far as I'm concerned, this is just a check to see how many of the tails you can successfully remove.
So I have 23 total.
Do you have proficiency on that, Jinx, or is that just
Yeah, I have proficiency and a total of +5 for sleight of hand.
gotcha? Roll the d4 for me.
It was a 1.
Gotcha. So technically that then would be the 20 plus
So
3, so
22.
24.
Oh wait, no, it should go down, right? Because I rolled a 1, not up.
Yeah, it just goes down one by one though. You rolled an 18 plus 3 plus 1.
It was 18 plus 5.
Yeah, so plus 4. Okay, yeah, 22. I got you.
Yeah, Malchen got
Um,
25 total.
I'd say both of those are solid enough to say that you guys can take a tail for each hit point. I'll let you guys harvest. Maybe it's probably better to say every other hit point. I'll let you guys harvest a total of 24 tails from the 2 swarms. I think that probably makes better sense than giving you 48 tails. 48 tails might be a lot. So yeah, let's say that you guys can harvest a total of 26 tails from all of these rats that you've killed here. Let me have everybody make a Constitution saving throw if you took any damage at all, please.
Uh,
21.
I'm gonna use my bardic inspiration on that one.
Gotcha. What did you get, Jinx?
Oh, and then we're using proficiency dice for saving throws as well, right?
If you're proficient in it, yep. It's essentially any time you're proficient, you use the die instead of the normal modifier. So
Right.
14.
Okay. Let's see. So that was a 6 plus 4, 10, 13, 14. Sorry. Oh, and then plus the bardic inspiration. I think that was a 3 initially, so it should be a 17. I think.
Oh wait, what was the 6? I thought you rolled a 4 on your d6. Isn't that your bardic inspiration?
So the 6 was the d20. The 4 on the d4 was the proficiency, and then I've got
And then
plus
I've got a
4 for
4
the
on the
Constitution,
d6.
and then but I think that
Okay, you
4 on
got
the
an 18.
d6 was a 3 because it got knocked off by the.
Oh yeah, that doesn't matter. It's not that high of a spell DC here.
Okay, yeah. So it's either 17 or 18. So total.
What did you get with Jinx?
Oh, I didn't actually ever get damaged. He missed me.
Okay, you didn't take damage. Gotcha. Yeah. So nobody essentially contracts like the rat plague from that. I didn't actually mention it, but one of the things that I feel like kind of makes sense to me is, I don't want to like let this get abused where you can just heal somebody who's feeling low one day, but I do kind of feel like if Jinx healed for more than Malchin had for today, I don't think I'm against him having higher hit points after receiving healing. So I don't know what hit points you're at, but Malchin, how much did he heal you for?
He healed for 8.
Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, I'd say you could have that full 8 instead of going up to 6 hit points for the day. Um, I'll have to see how that plays out in the future because again, it's not meant to be something to be abused. It probably has to be something that we keep at 6. Because otherwise it really does. It's like, oh, let me take 1 damage so I can get healed. Maybe if you go down to 0, the next healing can set like a new. Maybe it'll be something like that. But I'm tempted to say you can take like the full healing from being at 0.
Oh,
Maybe
that's pretty
that's
cool.
as
I
simple.
like that because nobody's gonna like intentionally get knocked down to like
Yeah.
get back.
I
Yeah.
think that you can take full healing from 0 hit points sounds good. So like if somebody had like a 3rd level cure wounds, they could heal you up to Malchin's potential max of like 22 hit points. But that's a high level spell to use it. I think that sounds good. And you're also again at 0 hit points in combat. Um so you can set your hit points to 8 hit points there instead of if you had them set at 6. But otherwise, you guys have some of these tales here. I think Davros didn't take much damage, so you guys have that kind of entryway still just to the south of you. Let's take a break here for a moment, maybe take like 10-15 minutes. When everybody gets back to the table, we'll jump back into it. But I want to actually switch over because, again, we're actually technically off the map that I have with the sewers on it.
Yep, sounds good to me. And yeah, Davros he's looking fine. He did not couple minor bites, but otherwise good.
Yeah, for now, Malchen is feeling better than he did going down here, so it's fine.
Oh, and your broken ribs are healed too as well, so you don't have to have that as well. Once you got magical healing, that damage is healed.
All right.
Nice. All right. Well, I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. I'll just let you know when I come back. I'm probably just gonna take like 5 minutes.
You end up stepping away, Chris?
Oh, I'm still here.
As I spend 5 minutes chewing a carrot bite, it dawns on me maybe a carrot was a wrong snack. I switched over to the map that actually has these caverns on it. If you would like to place Malchin on there for me, and then as the Justins get back, I'll have them place themselves.
All right, I'm back.
I switched the maps to the one that has the cavern. If you can add, excellent. Yep.
I'm back as well.
I switched the map to the one that actually has the cavern. If you can place Davros again.
Melton, you're looking a lot better than you did this morning. Maybe you had a hangover.
Oh, whatever it is, that magic of yours sure came in handy.
That was a close call, Malchin. You can't die until I pay you back for helping rescue my boy. All right?
Oh, don't worry about that. If I have my say, I'm not dying before I'm richer than everyone in the guild combined.
So what the hell was that thing? Have we seen something like that before? I mean, I know I haven't.
I've actually seen it before in the sewers. Fought one of those things. It seemed to control the other rats somehow. They seem a bit smarter. Well, as you
Make an
noticed,
animal handling check for me, Malchin.
It was definitely intelligent. It felt like it could understand when we were speaking.
that is a total of 7.
I'm not going to give you any clues on a 7, but you can know what you know.
And you're right about it, controlling the other ones. When the one glowing one died, the other ones all just froze.
Oh,
Perhaps they were just mesmerized by my loot, though.
oh, whatever it was. See more of them. Let's try taking them out first before going for the other rats, maybe.
I'll keep that in my back pocket. And I'm not sure if I want the Rat King thing to stick yet, so we'll just kind of leave that alone for now. Davros, you feeling all right?
Oh, I'll be fine. But I'm pretty sure the that opening I found was down this way, and he'll start moving east again towards the.
Yeah, so if we could just kind of gather up the torches, or if we need to light new ones, maybe I'll bum a torch from somebody if they don't mind.
Yeah, Davros will hand him a torch.
Never a bad idea. I guess I was a little cocky there. I didn't expect that thing came up out of nowhere.
So as you get around to where you expect them to be, let me just have you roll an investigation with advantage here, Davros.
Ooh, with advantage, that is a 5.
Solid. So you're just kind of like tapping around, like looking for the area, just maybe with your hammer, just kind of like lightly feeling for it. Um, you had a really solid memory with the initial check on this, kind of like getting back to here is why I was thinking advantage. I find that hilarious, but it's basically going to be that you kind of like will suffer out on this by when you do get close enough and the wall seems to be solid as far as you're considered. You're like coming through here and end up like starting to like tap on things until all of a sudden you just like tap a little section and there's like a big loud cave in.
Ah,
And of
found it.
course, I rolled quiet enough. But as far as I'm concerned, when this like wall caves in around to like the south and kind of exposes this little entryway, nothing really seems to come of it. You just kind of have like this loud, like crumbling of rock. Maybe notice like a little bit of almost like cementing. Like you can see that kind of like culture of cement used to like coupled with the massive rocks to like seal this up in a way that hides this like back entrance kind of thing. Giving you a little bit more clue that this entrance isn't meant to be here kind of thing.
Yeah, so he'll kind of wait a moment after kind of the wall crumbles down, but then when nothing immediately kind of comes swarming at them, he'll like turn towards the others and all right, come on, and kind of with his torch out, he'll have the maul in his other hand, and he will start inside. And if I
Now,
recall, oh, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. I was probably going to talk about the same thing you're about to.
So he's going to say like now, if I recall, there's a lake down this way, and he'll kind of point down towards the south east. And then when I was here with Mukhtar, we kind of it kind of loops around to the north. That's where we found those that door that we couldn't get through.
So as you guys kind of like step into this, you can see that there is like a corridor that leads a little bit to the west before darkness kind of takes over. Nobody has dark vision, or does Malchen have dark vision?
Malchen actually has dark vision.
Gotcha. So, Malchen, you can kind of see the corridor to the west seems to dead end. It's hard to make out the details beyond like all of the light that you guys actually have, but the corridor to the west does seem to come to a terminus, or at least it turns like south, but out of your view. The corridor to kind of the south of you kind of continues on for a while, and you can't really. Damn it. I don't want to reveal this whole map, and I clicked it in the wrong way. Pretend or slash close your eyes, please. I can't click. Oh, that's what it was. It was on the wrong. So the corridor to the west kind of continues on and then has like a terminus that you can see, or Malchin can kind of see. The corridor to the south continues on, and Malchin can kind of see essentially enough to say that there's like probably a split in that one because you can see some detail that belies like a wall, but you also see into darkness that is just black abyss that tells you that there's nothing that the light is hitting. And then you guys can basically see that the corridor that Davros was describing to the east seems to continue on, and you can see bits of wall that tells you that it kind of like turns north and south and east, um, to like kind of like meander instead of being completely straight. But you kind of have these three immediate ways that you could go here.
I mean, you lead the way, Davros, if you think you can take us to the door. Have a look.
All right. Now, certainly possible I might have missed something when I was down here first. So if you want to investigate somewhere else, you just let me know. Um, but kind of with that, he will start down towards um, the east.
Gotcha. And we're going with that marching order. Basically, Davros, Malchen's like 10 feet behind, and Jinx is like 10 feet behind that.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Just kind of keeping our space, but staying relatively close to each other.
Yeah, I think Davros being in the lead, being as he's been here before, makes sense. Yep.
I don't have your cheat sheet up right now, but Davros, what's your passive perception?
10.
So as you start to move forward into that direction, as you kind of like start to meander through this little side part, you start to see that there's like little bits that kind of curve up and around the walls. There's no like solid straight through area. And as you kind of like round a bigger corner and kind of expose some of this area as it like turns to the south, you find yourself like walking into like a little den of these rats. This is not a situation where they are little rats. You actually come into it and you see that there are a few of these larger rats that are just kind of like placed in here. And let's see. You guys can roll initiative here as I get the last ones kind of placed. But you're basically walking into this little rat issue.
Ooh, Malchen got 20 for initiative.
Five for Jinx.
And 14 for Davros.
Alrighty, so yeah, as you round this, got a +1 perception. That is horrible. So you're gonna basically see that there is one rat humanoid who's kind of like laid down on the ground, and there are three of these larger, like giant rats that are like laid down. All of them are roughly the same size of, say, like 10 to like 30 pounds. Small humanoid, I guess he's probably weighs a good bit more. So say like 10 to 20 pound rats, and then like the humanoid is very clearly like wearing clothing, geared with like armor, has swords and things on him. It's very clearly like not just a rat in this thing. You round this corner, and you're not like fully surprising them, but they're not reacting immediately here. So I'm gonna start initiative at Davros, which I'm sorry, Malgin, it's gonna put you at the end. But we're gonna start it at Davros as you basically walk into this, and you at present kind of don't have surprise, but you have the aspect of you get to act first.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Davros kind of, as he turns the corner and sees these, he's going to Seeing whether it might be a little slow to react, he's going to move forward. He's going to moving for this closest larger rat. He's basically dropping the torch as he goes, so maybe like right behind him here, like kind of right around the corner here, behind where he is now. And kind of like dropping it even as he's like raising the maul, then putting his other free hand on it and bringing it essentially swinging, trying to essentially almost like careen the rat into the wall next to it. But that will likely miss with a 7.
7 is going to miss, yes.
Yeah, so he, I don't know, maybe he swings like he almost expects it to come up, so he swings right over it. And that is his turn.
Any bonus action? Do you go into a rage?
Not yet. I'm trying to play him like kind of like have some like something attacks him or something like happens before he rages. Even though I know mechanically it's like barbarian rage like as soon as combat starts.
So from Davros, I think it fits perfectly fine to go to that like immediate rat, kind of like snapping to and going for you in retaliation. And let's get that rolling, get that out there. Like it's going to stop on a 13. I should have a +2 beyond, so 17 total.
17 hits, yep.
And then got. It's going to stop on a 1 for a total of 3 piercing damage. So 3 total piercing damage there. And then we're going to take this to Jinx.
So I guess as soon as we kind of come up here, I will. I can't really see everything that's going down, so I guess Davros just kind of like walks out of sight, and I will just kind of curve around the corner here, and then I'm gonna throw my boomerang at the rat that is right out in the open.
Are there actually boomerangs in this game?
There's 100% boomerangs in this game, and I've got 2 of them.
You're not just making that up.
I swear to God, it's a selection.
Dear Lord,
All right, so I have a 15 to hit.
15 is a solid hit.
Ooh, that's actually worse for me. Okay, so it is a D4 plus 3 damage.
What is
So
it? Is it something on D&D Beyond that you see a boomerang?
yeah,
I feel like
100%.
I would have noticed.
It's one of the option choices, like without even doing custom gear. It's like one of the things that tells me to pick between. So yeah, that's 4 total.
See the storm boomerang from Princes of the Apocalypse. 4 total. Which rat did you throw at? My bad. I'm so distracted by the existence of boomerangs.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I know. The one that's like right out in the open, I guess, to the right of Davros.
Gotcha.
And no bonus action for me.
You said that was a total of 4 damage?
Yes, sir.
So we'll go to the lowest rat there. Let's see. We'll give it a 50% chance. How can I do that? 2/3 chance that it's going to. Yeah, half chance that it's going for Davros. 1 or a 2 is Davros. So the first of these plague rats is going to go for Davros, and it is going to. I believe a 13 is not enough to bite into you. It should miss.
Yep.
And then that's going to take me to the swashbuckler. As he stands up, he is going to go for Davros. Let's see. Does he have language? I feel like he's gonna stand up, and you're gonna actually hear first as he speaks in like a horrendous kind of like clicking language that's almost like gnashing of teeth. And you can kind of see like a little bit of response from the rats, not nearly the same as like the brain rat would control them. Not that you guys have really seen how that works, but he basically seems to like communicate something before he just kind of like curses in common as he's drawing like this long rapier, and he like takes like a like kind of fashionable stance with like a high guard, raising his blade up, and then he's just gonna kind of like lunge forward and try to jab it into Davros there, and we will. Oh, he'll have advantage as well. I got a 19, so fishing for a crit though. Not going to be a 20. So he should hit with a 23-ish there, and he's going to deal a D8 plus 4. Looks like it's going to stop on the 1 as he like kind of like clips like the side of your flesh and like pierces through like next to your rib cage, but is kind of a pretty um surface injury as far as things go. It's not like stabbing through any organs. This is rapier kind of like maybe catches some of your leather and it like jinks out to the side and away from your major organs. This like well targeted attack all of a sudden is kind of thrown off. And that's where we're going to go to now, Malchen. As these things are surrounding Davros, what would you like to do?
And just confirm that was 5 total damage, right?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Malchen is gonna move up a little bit, just to get vision and everything. And yeah, I'm gonna Hunter's Mark, like the rat, like just right of Davros.
Gotcha.
And then I'm gonna drop my torch, pull out my bow, and try to shoot it. That is a 15 to hit.
Uh, 15 is a solid hit on that.
For a total of 8 damage.
That is going to leave that rat effectively like mortally wounded. That thing is severely injured. And you rolled the hunter's mark added in as well? Yeah.
Yeah, then that is
Any
it for me.
excellent. That's it. No other movement. It's gonna go for the rat that Jinx initially hit with the boomerang. And this one, I think, is just normally looking at all three of you here. It's gonna go for Jinx if Jinx is in range. Yeah. So, Malchen, you got a bow out. If you would like to make an improvised weapon attack as it rushes past you, you are more than welcome to.
I would like that.
So, no proficiency die here. Just roll a d20, and then if you hit, you can roll a d4 for damage.
So a 16
Solid hit.
for 2 damage.
Yeah, did I write that wrong? That's 5. Yeah, I did. So that guy is now technically mortally wounded and at 50% health. Low levels is really hard with the mortally wounded idea. But that one also is showing signs of being severely injured. It is going to rush up against Jinx. I just noticed that I rolled a crit on you. It is going to double one. It's going to do a total of 4 piercing damage to you, Jinx. And I think that will take us to Davros.
Yeah, so Davros kind of gets the bite, and then the rapier kind of like he feels it almost like, and he just twists a little bit to have it like kind of avoid a major anything, something worse than, but mostly a flesh wound, but still painful, and kind of he lets out a bellow of rage as now he will go ahead and go into his rage. And he is kind of as this rat humanoid is stabbing into him, he is going to turn his attention to that thing, um, and kind of give a bellow, and now swinging his maul. Yeah, I think he's going to turn his attention to the humanoid rat swashbuckler and swing at that one. Crit miss.
As you go to swing for it, it is going to deflect away your attack. If it misses, it can make an attack against the attacker with disadvantage. Yeah, so it's going to reflect away your attack. And because it has pack tactics, it has advantage. This attack is made with disadvantage. It's a straight attack on you as it riposts. And it is going. It's about to end on a 20. Whew, okay. It stops there on the 2. And as it like deflects it away, it's going to try to like swing in an attack to get at you, and it's going to miss.
Yeah, I feel like Davros definitely overextended himself with that swing. And yeah.
But that should be the end of your turn. The rat. I feel like I've got them out of order. I think I switched the rat that went after Jinx with the rat. Yeah, I should have. I switched them in the initiative order. That's what it is. So we'll go for the rat that is south of Davros right now. I feel like same thing. Let's feel out where it's going to go to. It looks like it's actually going to run away from you here, Davros, and it is going to try to clear into one of the other players. Would you like to react as it leaves this combat?
Yeah. So as he's like kind of like regaining his balance from the missing swing on the swashbuckler, he'll see this one kind of darting past, and he'll attempt to smack it for a. Looks like that was
12.
so a 10.
No, I meant 12 is the magic number to hit them.
Oh no, so a
Um,
miss.
yeah, so it's going to run past. It's just like one of those things. It's just too small to kind of deal with like such a tiny little target. It sneaks by with next to no problem. It's going to rush up and kind of like leap into Jinx. Looks like it's going to be a 3 or a 17. Rolling back towards the 3, and it should be a big old miss. And that should take us to Jinx.
Okay, so I got 2 rats on me now.
Indeed, yes. One of them is severely injured, the one to the south. You can tell that it's weakened. The other one seemingly is healthy enough, but kind of a weird take. Technically, all of these rats are under 10 hit points right now.
Oh god, I don't want to die to rats. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use my action for a disengage. Oh my god, there's rats everywhere back there. And then I turn around the corner and see there's even more rats. And I'm gonna turn back and I'm just gonna say, sorry, Malkun, and I'm gonna give him inspiration, bardic inspiration.
Bardic inspiration. So you kind of set up Malchen a little bit there. Run across, you do inspire him, so you can use a d6 in the next 10 minutes here on anything that you want to make sure to accomplish. This next rat kind of gets freaked out by you running out here, and it is going to run over and attack you. Should miss with like a total of 7. And then it's going to go back up to the swashbuckler. I think he's just as likely to stay with any given one of you guys at this point here. That should still be Davros. So he is going to try to stab into Davros. Just took away his advantage. Whoops. I wonder if that rat still counts as in combat with you. What a weird measuring tool. It won't let me measure from anywhere useful. I'm gonna go for it. Misses you. And it's gonna go back around to Malchen.
Yeah. I'm gonna drop my bow, pull out my short swords, and follow Yinks. It get in there if I can.
All of the rats are small, so I think overall that yeah, you definitely can.
And then I'm gonna attack the one with the hunter's mark. 1.
Oh, I forgot to mark which one was Hunter Mark. Was it 7?
Yeah, it was the one with 7.
Okay.
Keep an eye on.
That's the reason I like switched them to that instead of the damage that they took. I was like, oh, I need to actually be able to determine which is which. Solid hit there with a 22-ish. I
Yeah,
don't think
21.
that thing can survive your hit. Yeah, that's an auto kill on that one.
Yeah, then I'm gonna move
So,
my Hunter's Mark to the.
well, you could bonus action move your Hunter's Mark. Isn't that what it costs to move it? Or does it happen automatically?
That is a bonus action.
Yeah, so you could bonus action move it, or you could actually attack with your sword against the swashbuckler to the south of you. Up to you how you want to do that.
I'm gonna do this instead. I'm just gonna move a little bit again. A little bit movement left. Like just like that. And then I'm gonna take my bonus action to try to hit the swashbuckler.
You can get that +2 for flanking it.
The 8, 10, 11. Oh, and can I use my inspiration for this?
You most certainly can.
Or 3 fours at a row. Let's see, that would be a 15 to hit with that.
15. As you swing, he is going to deflect away your shield or your attack. This time he will be at disadvantage because he no longer has rats to gain off of, and he is going to riposte you. He's not going to be able to hit you with the 4. Just hear like a little bit of banter as he like kind of reflects you away, like your swordsman is shit, and he like reflects it away, trying to stab into you. His swordsmanship is also shit. Should then go to giant rats up top. Got a hatred for Jinx right now. It's going to charge down, going for Jinx. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, because the swashbuckler just went, and then you did that. So against Jinx, looking like it's going to end up with the 19 where it should hit you. Yeah, 21. And I think these are a D4. I think a total of 4 damage from this giant rat as it bites into Jinx.
Okay, can I use my reaction to do? Says
Cutting
one
words?
reaction, silvery barbs.
Oh, you have silvery barbs? Dirty whore. I fucking hate that spell. Yes. That's one of the spells that I feel like people are like banning because of it's just too powerful. So yeah, what is it? You give it disadvantage, and then you get to give somebody else advantage here.
Yeah, it says the triggered creature must re-roll the d20 and use the lower roll.
Yeah. So 7, 9, 11 to hit you. I think 11 is below your AC.
Oh, thank God.
And then you can give advantage to either. I think you could give it to yourself, but you can give advantage to somebody else now.
I'm gonna give it to myself. Yeah.
And then that one's going to lead to Davros.
Yeah, so Davros, as he kind of sees the rat thing kind of riposting against Malchen, is going to try to use that opening to kind of smash it, and he is going to. I'm going to use his inspiration that he got for his critical miss last turn to give him advantage on that. So that would be a 16 to hit.
16 is not enough to hit him. You just kind of like smash into. Damn, I haven't actually described him as having the shield, but it's technically a part of his AC. I'd say you can hit him without no shield on him. So 16 is enough to hit.
Okay. Oh, and I guess if Malchin had flanking, I guess I would have had flanking too, right? So.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and then let's see damage.
I'm also not using this guy as he's statted out because this is a CR2 character that alone would have been a solid fight against the three of you. That's part
Okay.
of, like, I'm not bending it further. I'm bending it because I've already been bending this character.
Gotcha. Okay. So that would be a total of 10 damage.
10. Roll a d10 for me, please.
4.
As you smash into him, you just see as his eyes roll back into the back of his head. He is currently stunned. Goes to Giant Rat 5, which is going to go. I mean, do you have anything else that you want to do?
Nope, that's all for Davros.
Going for Malchen. I don't know if he has the distance on Malchen. Yeah. Trying to bite into Malchen. 18 or 2. 18 or 2. It's right between the two of those numbers. So many fucking cocked dice out of this roller. So solid hit there, and it's going to deal a d4 plus 2 to you, Malchen, as it bites into you for a total of 4 piercing damage. And then that's going to go to Jinx. Number 7 is dead. Number 3 is as healthy as any of these rats look. The one that's biting into Malchin is severely injured, and then the big guy is stunned right now with his eyes like rolled back, just kind of like blankly staring, and mortally wounded.
So 7 is dead right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to. I'm gonna vicious mockery. No, wait. I have advantage on my next attack roll. I think from that. Is that what that did?
Yeah. I mean, you could still if you were planning on doing vicious mockery, I would say give it to somebody else, anyways. But at this point, because you took it, I would say you should make an attack.
Okay. I'll just go for a melee attack with my other boomerang, and take a swing at it with advantage. I got a total of 9.
Wait, with advantage though? I only see a 4.
I rolled a 2 first, and then a 4.
Oh, okay. Did you roll a d4 for your proficiency? Or are you not even proficient in boomerangs?
Oh no, I'm proficient in it.
Roll a d4 then. And what's your plus on that? You have a plus 3 dexterity, so 7. So that's a 10 total. Yeah, that'll miss.
I'm just gonna say that thing bit me, and I'm sore. I don't want to be the Rat King no more. And then I will. I guess that's it.
Gotcha. So 7 is dead. It goes to the swashbuckler who is stunned. It will go to Malchen. You've got the little rat biting into your throat, but the rat guy is like just held still. Like you can see his body is just like locked. All of his muscles are like fully like tensed, and he's just like locked in position right now. What would Malchen like to do?
I think I'll try to take out the little rat uh, by me with my first strike, and then the second strike for the swashbuckler. Yeah, that's a 19 to hit for the little rat.
Solid hit with the first one.
For a total of 9 damage.
Gonna be a solid kill on him.
Then for the swashbuckler, let's see. That is a total of 13 to hit.
With advantage.
Oh, with advantage. Let's see then. Then it becomes, let's see, 9, 11, 14 to hit.
Not gonna be enough. Seems weird that with a dex-based character, who is he stunned till the end of his turn? Till the end of its next turn, I can riposte you again. Yeah, I'm gonna riposte you. Oh wait, he wouldn't even be stunned against you there? The order of that is weird. That's fucking craziness. Davros would never get to attack with advantage after stunning him like that. That's wild. That's why the monk ability is so powerful. Yeah, he's gonna riposte against you. My bad. You don't even have advantage against him. So with disadvantage, he will riposte. That's crazy. That like I think one of them's gonna end on the 9. That should be a miss. Yeah, for a total of 12 to hit you, Malchin. I think your AC is 15.
It's 16 now when I dual wield.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, so he misses there as he tries to riposte. My bad. I keep thinking of the monk stun instead of how that is. So anything else from you? Otherwise, it's gonna go to the last of the giant rats.
Yeah, no, that's it for me.
It wanted to try to roll over onto the 6 because Jinx is their only target. Jinx, it is going to run away from you. You are welcome to make an attack of opportunity with your melee boomerangs as it tries to rush after, what is that, Malchin?
Oh, now you're running. 15 to hit.
Solid hit. Do 5 damage.
Three plus three.
Solid. So as it like runs away and it's like leaping out of midair, you can like cut it in half with your boomerang. As this rat just like plops into Malchin as a dead body and scatters to the ground.
Holy shit, I killed something.
Bard got a kill. That's gonna take it to Davros.
All right, so Davros is like readying up his, almost like readying up a like the perfect swing, but then as the rat is stunned, but then as he sees it comes out, he kind of he's gonna go reckless, kind of recklessly hurried attack against it as it recovers. Should be a 23 to hit.
Solid hit.
For 14 damage.
That's plenty enough to get that guy killed. And these are hammer strikes, yeah. So you just like smash this thing down, just like pulp, basically.
Yeah, almost
So
like like down onto its shoulder, just like crunching. Like, yeah.
so at very least, you guys have 4 more rat tails here, from the 4 of these. But you do have the body of a substantial fighter in the swashbuckler here. Who would like to search that corpse to see what you can find?
Guess Davros can go ahead and
Hang on one second. Can I do a bardic inspiration for you before you search? Davros, before you have a look there, maybe I could say a little word or two.
I feel like it would make more sense if you just like jump into it with like singing or like, saying something however you inspire him, but not necessarily asking for the time, but to actively do it. And I think
Okay,
that would be acceptable.
all right, cool. I'll do that then.
I think that kind of falls into the weird thing where I feel like bardic inspiration and guidance work better as like reactions to like recognizing somebody's doing it, and you're just like, yeah, reaction. But yeah, you can go for an extra d6 included into a investigation here.
yeah, I feel like that's a change they're contemplating for 1D&D is changing those to reactions.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because I abhor how guidance is used. I am not somebody who lets people just guidance how it tends to be used in 5th edition. It's one of those things where it's just like you need to recognize it is a 6-second spell to cast it. It takes you time to do this. You're like praying over somebody. And especially if somebody's an atheist, and then you've got like how many people don't like put a god on their character and then they accept guidance like as if it's like not a cleric praying over them. I don't know. It's just very funny to me sometimes. Do you have any modifier on top of that for your investigation?
It's actually a negative, so it'll be a 21 total.
Solid enough though. Let me have you roll. Let me have you roll a percentile here. Let me get a feeling for D100 of what kind of things you'll find on this rat.
91.
Roll 46 for me.
Ooh, 5. 3 ones.
That's the real ouch there. He's got a coin pouch on him with a platinum, a gold, 2 silver pieces, and a copper. You can find he has a rapier. He's got studded leather armor. Yeah, I think that's kind of what you're gonna kind of get from this guy at this point here. Um, both the 91 and that actual roll are just kind of unfortunate. Um, fuck it, roll a D100 for me.
I mean, I'm good. I can't always find 82. Still pretty high.
Yeah, I think the other thing that he has is just kind of like tucked up in like a bedroll, kind of like in the corner here. There seems to be like a wooden staff, just made out of like a kind of like gnarled like osage orange, where it kind of like twists and turns. Um, but otherwise just looks like a wooden like walking staff.
Yeah. So Davros will might be able to sell the sword and the armor for a bit. Uh, Split out the coin, add it to whatever haul we get from the tails, and if either Jinx or Malchin wants the staff, they're welcome to it. It's not really something that catches his eye in particular. I mean, they'll figure we can take it, and I don't know, maybe it's worth more than it looks. But if either of them want first crack at it,
What's the staff like look like? Is it just like a piece of wood, or is it like decorative at all, carved, embroidered?
Like, are you looking to see if you can see signs that tell you it's magical versus mundane?
I'll just investigate it to see if it looks like a total piece of trash or if it's like, you know,
I'd
intriguing.
say it looks like a well-carved walking staff at this point.
I'll have a look at it. I won't just like leave it behind, but I'm not like super after it or anything. But eh. And then also, can I look for my boomerang?
Oh, you can 100% find your boomerang. Yeah.
Nice. And I guess we would like harvest up the couple rat tails. Are we gonna bring that body along with us?
That's what I was saying. You guys could gather the other 4 rat tails without a problem. So I'm not sure if you guys have a total count of rat tails right now. I did not keep the count, but I think you're probably near like 32-ish, maybe.
If we got 4 from this, we have 30 rat tails.
And that's why I don't count, because guessing was close enough. So yeah, you guys have 30 rat tails total at present.
What kind of condition are you fellas in?
taking a few nicks, but I'm all right.
Yeah, I mean, I've taken a hit as well. I mean, I could go on, but
I, I'm okay for whatever you guys are thinking, but maybe we could just relax here for a minute, kind of bandage our wounds, take a little rest. Someone could keep out, or we could put some torches up.
Am I correct that at present you have no spell slots, though, right?
No, I was more just thinking like we could short rest and hit diet up for like some healing.
Oh, most certainly. But are you also out of spell slots?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm completely out of spell slots, and I have one bardic inspiration left, and I get those back on a long rest, I believe.
So, you guys are most certainly welcome to attempt a short rest. You are technically still in like a ratman's nest, so you do have that understanding that there is like a heightened danger simply on that front. But again, you're welcome to try it here. It's up to you guys, though. Just let me know what you would like to do.
Well, I know what I need. What you guys thinking?
and I wouldn't mind a rest.
I'm not sure we're gonna get one, but we could at least try.
All right.
While you short rest, are you going to do it here?
Is that area right in front of us? Like if we were to just keep going, is that still a path or is that a wall right there?
I think Malchin could peek around enough to see that the underground water, like that underground lake, is vaguely within view. But yeah, this path continues going to the southeast of you, turning a little bit more southwesterly.
Say we just go for it right here rather than wasting a bunch of time looking for a spot and everything. We try, we try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We don't really lose anything but a little time.
That sounds fine to me.
Yeah, sure. That works for me as well.
Yeah. So when you guys go to rest, are you going to play a song of rest, or are you taking some time to try to see if that staff is magical? If you can, like, gain an understanding of what it does. What are you thinking there?
I don't have Song of Rest, do I?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, that is a higher level bard skill. I think that's level 2 or 3. My bad.
Um,
Um,
I would just like want to like bandage my wounds, put a little alcohol on them because I just got bit by rats, and go for a hit die if possible. And then like I'll have a look over the staff. I don't know if anybody else is like interested in looking at it, but
yeah, as long as you're willing to like look into it, I'm not going to hold you off from being able to also bandage your wounds. So you can roll hit dice here. You guys have an hour goes by without a problem for you. Um, I don't know what the fuck I wrote down for that staff, other than that the name that I have written down clearly tells me what it does, but I don't know where I got it from. It doesn't seem to be from the ledger. It doesn't seem to be from Blizzard or WotC, but it's I call it the Flame Breather's staff. So very clearly, it gives you the ability to breathe fire. But I don't know why I decided to make up a staff like that. I don't know. But yeah, that is effectively, you can tell that with the use of that staff, you can basically create shit, why can't I think of the spell? Breathe flame. I think it's that simple.
Yeah,
Push
it
on
looks like
fire
the
breath, please.
Flame Breather staff is one of the Griffin saddlebags.
Oh, I wonder if it wants me to re-put it in. I don't know why I can't find it when I search.
Flame Breather is one word.
I mean, let's be real. You couldn't find Boomerang.
I don't know. I have access to book 1 and 2, so I don't know. I think I gave. I don't know. I can't remember if the codes I had were only for 2.
Yeah, I think it logged. Oh, maybe I have to log back. I think it logged me out, is what it.
Yeah, and it says basically you can use it to. You can speak the command word to cause it to essentially cast Burning Hands. But you can only do that once a day. Otherwise, when you hit with it, it says it can do 1d4 fire damage.
And what is it? It's just like a charge once a day for Burning Hands level 1.
So it's a quarterstaff, so you can use it like as a quarterstaff weapon. But it also deals an extra 1d4 fire damage. This is just, again assuming we're using the just as written for Griffin Saddlebag. And then once per day, you can speak its command word and essentially cause it to cast Burning Hands, the Burning Hands spell with a save DC of 13.
Yeah, so that's part of it, is that the quarterstaff attack alone is better with it.
Yeah, and plus it's magical, so if it, I guess for purposes of overcoming, I guess something has resistance to non-magical damage.
Yeah, like beating on those swarms is better with that thing.
Cool.
If you save that with Jinx, you guys can also decide if you want to go ahead and like sell that thing. But for now, as long as Jinx has it, if you save that, that is what the flame breather staff is.
Well, not my weapon of choice, but something that seems like it could come in handy.
It's weird because at this level, it almost does more damage than your hammer. Isn't your hammer 2d8?
2d6.
2d6? Yeah, so it can do the same max damage, only it's magical. But like it's a d8 and a d4. I think a quarterstaff's a d6 or a d8.
It's a D6 if it's one-handed, or a D8 if it's two-handed.
Oh, right.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. So if Malchen or Jinx wants it, that they're welcome to it. Davros, he knows how to swing it, like a club essentially. But if either one of them want to use it, he's perfectly fine with his hammer. But if once Jinx kind of explains to him what it's good for, he'll take it. If neither of the two want it, at least to use for now.
I mean, it is magical. Are you guys, either one of you, have a magic weapon already?
No, I think the only magical weapon that's been found has been sold.
Yeah, Davros will kind of look at his hammers. Not so far as I know, it's got me through a lot, but no, not magical.
I mean, in the ideal situation, I'm not standing up front smacking things with a stick. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't use it or couldn't try to blow some flames or whatever, but I'm just saying it's.
And the bonus of how that is worded, you are not casting a spell, which is big for a barbarian.
Right, yeah.
You are speaking a command word, and it is releasing a gout of flame.
What's the difference? Because you can't do it when you're raging?
Barbarians can't cast. So there's certain things that they're worded in ways where, like, a wand gives you the ability to cast polymorph or to cast fireball, versus like this one that basically says like all you have to do is know to say the word, and that's perfectly fine for a barbarian raging.
I mean, there's a lot of situations where having a magic weapon as opposed to not having a magic weapon, especially if you're melee focused, might be a good idea. And if it does a little extra fire on top too.
All right. You convinced me. I'll give it a go, and Davros will take it and kind of putting the maul away, and kind of he'll take a few like practice swings, almost like a baseball bat kind of thing, and kind of get used to the width. Much lighter, I think, than his hammer would be. But I can make do with this.
So that is also where you could consider, I'm not sure if you have like backup other hammers, like an actual like a smaller like mace or something, but you could potentially also rock out the flame bearer staff with one hand and have another hammer, so you've got like the bonus action attack. Or if you carry it one-handed, you can always choose basically to always attack two-handed unless you're like drawing a second hammer kind of thing. So keep that in mind as well, that you have that versatility of one or two attacks, one or two-handed.
Right. Well, I think unless because the quarterstaff isn't light, so I think it would have to be. And he doesn't have.
Oh yeah, you're right on that one. That's my bad.
But I see. Yeah, but I see your
That's where there's a feat that you could take to let you do it, but that's specifically for two-handed fighters.
Yep. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna add it as just a quarterstaff on D&D Beyond for now. I'll create a custom one later just for reference, but I've got it.
If you custom it and then you just name it right off the bat, the Flame Breather staff, that's enough for now. And we're not using the attacks off D&D Beyond anyways.
Right. Good point. Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, one of the things I've heard some great DMs say is like, fuck the idea of attunement time. As far as I'm concerned, if you guys want to continue searching through here, you can have attunement to that. And you guys can continue on with Davros using it as it is. Otherwise, you guys can decide, how you want to proceed here. But has everybody otherwise used any hit dice that they might have wanted to use? Oh, I
Yeah,
also do
mine,
need you. I think all three of you took damage on that one. I need you guys to do another con save against the rat plague. Oh, yeah. I don't think you guys should move on with those rolls.
Yeah, I got a
Yeah,
total of 10.
That would be 9 for me.
And then Jinx, yours is just a flat 5.
what is it? Oh, con plus
Just a
one.
constitution save. +1, yes, a 6. Yeah, so all of you are going to be infected by this rat plague at this point. As far... Yeah, that actually reduces your hit dice down to half recovery. So I'd say by and large, depending on how you guys recovered your hit dice here, gaining half of your hit dice probably makes it a lot less enticing to move forward here and a lot more enticing to perhaps turn back. But did you guys pay attention to how much you regained using hit dice?
Do you mean like half as many hit dice, or like half the number that you got on your hit dice?
Half the number of hit points from spending hit dice. So if you
Okay. So I rolled 8 on mine, which is max. So I would get 4 really, and I was at 5. So I'm still at 9. But
all right,
you know,
cool.
Yeah, I rolled 4, so that would be a 2 instead. So I'm 6 out of 8. That's what I started with, basically.
Gotcha. But you potentially also then could roll another one and get up to that 8 maximum from like him resetting it with that heal. But that might be, I mean, realistically, you're going to have 7 days before next Sunday. So there's both no reason not to and no reason to do that. Davros, how many hit dice did you use / how much did you recover?
Yeah, so I used 1. I got back 8, so subtract that to 4, but so I have 1 left, so I might as well go ahead and use that.
Gotcha. So it's kind of up to you, Malchen, whether you want to recover those last 2 that you have the potential of. Yeah, so you could gain 5 from that one with Davros.
Well, plus that's plus also
Oh, yeah,
the
plus your
4 from
con.
con. So that actually, yeah. So I had to burn 2 hit dice, but that basically essentially he's now back to full strength.
And then did you roll that 5 there, Malchen?
Yeah, and then with a +1, so a 6.
So, yep, 6. So you can gain those 3 hit points and be back up to your max of 8 right now. So it puts you guys at full health. I don't think that it's a big deal that you have to use your full hit dice because part of being the West March, more than likely you're not going to use these characters when they're usually taking like 7 long rests before you play them again. So in the long run, I don't think it's necessarily a big deal. Does it sound good to continue forward then?
You two are up for it.
Yeah, I'm good.
technically, I'm in tip-top shape. So
Well, all right then.
Oh, my bad, guys. I'm an idiot. It takes days for this to manifest. So the 2 of you who are level 2, just go back to 1 hit dice expended and whatever you had before. And then Justin, I don't think anything changed with Jinx anyways. This won't manifest for days.
I mean, we might as well move on. We're here already.
Agreed.
So, if you go back to that same idea where Davros is leading, you guys would have to light a new round of torches at this point, like for your second round of torches. But if Davros leads, Malchen is about 10 or so feet behind, and Jinx is about 10 or so feet behind there. You guys can kind of peek around this next corner. You will once again kind of see like an opening kind of chasm. It kind of opens up and you see a little bit of the water, but you can kind of see that you've come to relatively the edge of this underground lake that you've spotted before.
And Davros will hand a spare torch to Jinx if he would like another one.
Oh, of course, if you don't mind, give her a drink or a cigarette. Least I could do.
I'll take you up on a drink.
Fancy my flask. My brand new flask.
We'll kind of like hold it up, like give a little kind of tip, like cheers to Jinx, and then maybe drink down a little bit more than Jinx might have been kind of hoping he would. A little, pretty heavy sip, but then hand it back and kind of give a nod of thanks, and then continue on back towards the water. Davros is trying to remember where he actually saw the door, the iron door. I think he's gotten turned around a bit.
Roll another intelligence for me.
I'm gonna offer Malchen a drink too if he wants one or a cigarette.
That will be his.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say Malchen will happily take like a big swig. Let's go. Thanks. Really needed that.
Cigarette?
No, thank you. I'll keep it to drinks.
And I'm gonna hold up the flask to him and I'll say, "Nice flask, eh? Booze is shit though."
I mean, that's
No, I was. My bad. What were you saying there, Malchen?
I was gonna say. Oh, I mean, it is a nice flask, but I think I would prefer the booze not to be shit. But I'll take what I can get.
Trust me, I've had worse.
I guess booze in a sewer are better than no booze in a sewer.
But yeah,
Oh,
Davros is completely lost. He got a 0 on that intelligence roll.
Oh, gotcha. That was a negative as well. Yeah. So as you kind of round this corner, like it's familiar enough that there's like the lake here, but this is where you guys are going to start to recognize that, like, if you approach the edge of the lake, you start to see that again. This is one of those areas where there's multiple places that you can go, and it's going to throw you for a loop. That you can go to the east, you can go to the south, and you can kind of follow the lake, or you do spot a location that goes like back off to kind of like the northwest. So you kind of have an idea that there is like somewhere beyond northwest, probably connects back with one of those ways that you guys went before, and could have gone. Somewhere down south, Malchen can probably spot where the water does end. Southwest, somewhere down south, Malchen probably sees where it just, like, he can almost see to the extent of the light, like his full, 60 feet. Um, to the east, Malchen sees that tunnel continues on quite a way. But he, like, once he goes far enough south to, like, it almost continues directly east there. But that's kind of where you're at, where you have these like 4 different directions that you could go. One, you're pretty sure leads back towards where you've been. One leads to the east, one to the south, and one along the water.
Yeah, so Davros is going to turn back to them and kind of give a shrug, and this part's less familiar than I remember it. Any ideas? Which way you want to go?
I don't know. Any way seems as good as the others.
I mean, should we just keep heading east, seeing as we came from the west?
Can I kind of like examine this water? I mean, I know we're in like a sewer, but we're kind of like in like earthy parts now, right?
Yeah, doing an investigation. Otherwise, if you're just like, depending on what you're doing here, like, what are you actually thinking? You're trying to see, like, is this sewer water?
Yeah,
Or are you
exactly.
thinking,
Like,
like,
does it
is it
seem like
healthy to drink?
spring water, like fresh? Not necessarily looking to drink it, but
I would say you can confirm that this is not sewer water. Like looking at it, whether it's like spring, whether it's like mineral water, is beyond what you can gather at this point. But this water is definitely not like connected to the sewage, to the sewer water. So it would be one of those things where there's a certain intrigue to it, um, along what you're probably thinking, but it's kind of up to you how you go from there.
yeah. So I'm sort of like examining it, realizing it's like actual like semi fresh water or whatever. I'm gonna kind of just like, do a quick like little, not like wade in, but go in a couple inches and kind of like clean my boots off and everything. Those rats were disgusting. I can't believe I got bit. We're still down in these sewers and I'm covered in feces. It appears to be fresh water. We could clean up a bit.
Never actually thought about what I thought this lake was. Um, yeah, so you've got a little spot where you can like wade in, and it's kind of like slippery smooth as you do start to walk in, and it's kind of like a weird level of like it's somewhat like silting up as you step through it, but it's not really mud. This is predominantly stone beneath you. So I think that might give you a little bit more clue that like this is like water seeping through stone more than like there's dirt that like makes up like a mud that this sticks to. This is I think that adds a little bit to it.
All right, so I'm like, feeling a little refreshed now. Kind of was a little grossed out, a little skeeved out from getting bit by rats and being in the sewer. So flip a coin then, decide which way we're going, or you want to just pick one, Davros?
Well, Malchen suggested we just keep going east. That sounds good to me.
Makes sense to me.
This is kind of like a weird situation because this was a map that I created to be a map. I don't think I ever actually created this for people to play on. So you're gonna go under the sewer line here. So you can't really show the next part. So you just kind of like continue walking, where you guys kind of like show up, kind of continuing off to the other side where you'll eventually kind of spot that the tunnel kind of turns like south or north, Malchin, and you guys kind of have like that is like the next choice of where you go. Oh, the random encounter die almost went 20, and then it dropped over to a 6.
What do you think, Malchen? North or south?
And you see Martian close his eyes and point south, and just like open. Oh, south seems it is any.
Davros will kind of raise his eyebrows, but then shrug and, all right, south. And he will start moving towards the south.
My bad. I actually found the actual map while I was laughing about that, so I'm going to move you guys over there. So you said from this point here, you're going to start to turn south. But if you guys actually continue into this corridor and explore it a little bit more thoroughly, this is where Davros will be able to see that there are indeed bars to the north. And south, you can see that the like cavern kind of closes off a little bit before like the eastern side of like the two ways that you can go to the south is like the open route, whereas the like western side is kind of closed off. But I think this is roughly as much map as you guys had explored. I forgot or lost where this was. It's not under Tollus. I had it like under sewers.
Okay, yeah. So once he sees the bars to this like gate, that'll kind of jog his memory about. Oh, right. This is the way we came, and he'll yeah, that's the one. Me and Mukhtar, and he'll kind of give like a little like sign to Lothian, kind of in like Mukhtar's memory. We weren't able to get through it last time we were down here. I don't know if either of you two are any better with picking locks.
I don't really have any experience with it, so I mean, I'm decent with my hands, but I don't know if that really helps. You don't know what you're doing.
Does anybody have thieves' tools?
Nope. Martian doesn't either. Yes. I think
Gonna have to like put out a guild like message. Like currently you guys have 0 rogues, and somebody should buy a fucking thieves' tool set.
Can you use thieves' tools just regular, like if you don't have proficiency in them?
Exactly. It would basically be without that D4 roll. You would just be doing kind of like a dexterity check.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, yeah, I mean, when I get some gold, if I can not lose it all gambling, I'll get some thieves' tools.
So what it kind of comes back to is you could bash it down and potentially make a lot of noise and have somebody rushing in to do something about it. You can once again leave it behind, but you're kind of like at that impasse of there's not really a way to get through without using some sort of like brute force on effectively a locked portcullis.
Is there like an actual lock on it, or a locking portion of it?
Yeah, effectively these are like kind of prison door style of thing where it's like a large like barred wall. Damn it.
Could I try to use a dagger on it? I know it's a stretch, but I'm willing to like risk breaking it. I have +5 sleight of hand, but and proficiency with sleight of hand.
Well, lets you do a sleight of hand. Well, no, it's not even a sleight of hand though. It's a dexterity check as part of why Thieves' Tool is a separate kind of proficiency. Is it's technically a dexterity check and not sleight of hand.
Okay, I got you.
Often,
I'm +3 for
yeah.
dexterity.
So I'll let you do a Thieves' Tool at disadvantage. So you can try it and see. But in the long run, the likeliness of damaging your knife, which won't really expend anything here, is the highest likeliness. But it is effectively also potentially damaging the lock into the future as well.
I mean, I'll give it a shot. We come this far.
Do you have a torch on you?
Yeah, Davros gave me a torch, right?
Yep.
So as you see around this corner, you see that there's another locked gate almost 10, 15 feet to the east, blocking off this next room. So not only is there a locked gate in this portion, but there is a reason for another locked gate just beyond it.
Look at that. There's another gate right behind it. They're either really trying to keep something out or really trying to keep something in.
Well, I know Dalton. He he and friends rescued woman. Don't think it was down here exactly, but seems like these rat folk like to. Some of them, at least, like to keep prisoners.
I guess that would make sense then. Well, I'll give it a shot. I mean, I don't know that it's going to get through, but all right, I'm going to go for that test then.
Gotcha. So I think just at disadvantage, and then you've got a +3 for dexterity.
Yeah, so 8 would be my lower one. 5 plus 3.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that's not like failure where the knife's gonna break or anything. But it is just kind of like trying to pick around in that lock. Even a dagger is just like too much to manage around in this situation. Um, it's one of those things that there's also like the potential you guys are like faking some of these tools with other implements. And in the long run, it's just kind of a recognition that like when you create thieves tools, there's a lot more to it than simply getting something inside of the lock. It's having stuff that is shaped in the right way to manipulate the locks. Um, so in the long run, you mess around with it. You don't seem to damage any of your tools just as much as you don't seem to damage the actual lock here.
Well, I can probably bash it down if it comes to it. Last time we were here, we had a couple fights of our own. Weren't really feeling up to it. Might draw some attention if I do, so I'll leave it to you two whether you want to risk it.
I mean, we've come this far. I'm willing to risk it.
I mean, I suppose the real danger is that our exit gets cut off, but other than that, we turn back, we get through 1 and 2 and it appears to be an issue.
Well, all right then. And yeah, so Davros will kind of with the new quarterstaff kind of gripped in two hands, he'll kind of do like a couple like little like almost like practice like swings, almost like with a golf like and then kind of bring it back and essentially try to smash down onto the locking mechanism with the his new staff.
Gotcha. So I wonder. Let me have you roll. Oh man, I feel like I should do this almost like a kind of group attack to like gauge how long it takes you to get through. Not necessarily that you get through. I think it's more of a fact that you are going to stay to get through. Um and use that as a question of how much attention is drawn. So yeah, I think let me have you roll a d20. This isn't you attacking, you're going to bash your way through. This is more an assessment of how it progresses. Give me 1 second to grab this like mob chart. So like 3 attacks at it. So let me have you roll a D20. One is the worst thing that you can roll right now. So let me have you roll a D8. Again, one is the worst that you can roll.
Okay, that was a 1.
So when you're like bashing through this, like the first ring of this staff against this steel. Oh, I just lost my headphones. The first ring against the staff against the steel, like the steel rings and it rings like a bell, and you can like see as it like starts to almost like crush the rock where the steel of these bars are piercing into the stone. And it's like that odd moment where you feel the real quality of a magical staff in that this wood isn't affected by hitting steel. The steel is affected by wood. The second strike into it is the same kind of feeling where you watch like as the stone crumbles and as the locking mechanism like enough way where the door is like ready to come open. One more hit and it's there for you for the taking. And you're going to start to hear footsteps coming from beyond that room. And you see one figure like come up to the door, and they kind of like yell out in a moment of like kind of like some sort of like rat like reply, and then you hear like cursing from inside, where you start to like gain this like, what? You don't get out, gone. And you kind of see is like a few rats and two like humanoid rats are just beyond this wall, beyond that next gate. What are you kind of thinking here? I should say you can see that there is stuff like boxes and crates, say, in that next room that you're busting into. But it's the question of like, do you want to go in there? Do you think these people are locked in that next room? Or do you think they might come from you? But it's kind of up to you. You've got attention of somebody who's basically in that northeastern spot right there.
Okay, so they're calling from not from like directly on the other side of this wall, but from off, um, from behind the second door.
Yeah, they like came to respond to that. And basically this is in between that second and the third strike that they're coming forward. You'll see what they do if you progress forward. You're one more strike basically away from opening that door. Otherwise, at present, that door one is destroyed where the locking mechanism's not going to work anymore. And it's also not yet opened. So if you guys wanted to bail right now, they're probably locked in there because of what you've done to that lock, and they would have to bash it open to chase after you. Or you can basically continue forward, potentially go into that room and grab some goods, or potentially go into that room and get into a fight.
So, kind of hearing the challenge, Davros is going to like move to like raise the staff, but then stop and then look towards Jinx and Malchen, and almost just kind of like give like a shrug and kind of wait, like trying to ask a silent question, almost kind of thing.
Don't ask me. My luck is shit. I'm gonna like start slowly backing away.
What do you think, Malchen? We leave things be for now, or do you want me to finish busting down this gate? Yeah, nowhere here.
And I mean, if they're there and they're keeping something out, there might be some big treasures back there. High
We might
risk, high
not get
reward.
another chance. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just like high risk, high reward, and he'll pull out his two swords.
And I'm just gonna say we might not get another chance to run away. But I'm good with whatever, guys. I'm just playing my character, so.
So while you guys are speaking and trying to like decide there, you can see one of the rat men is like fumbling with a key and is kind of like failing to currently unlock that door that they are at. But it's more that he is panicking to like get the key in there to get to you guys. But kind of continuing here, that's just like the development in the time it takes you guys to discuss.
So Davros is going to kind of looking between the Jinx and Malchen, and then grab what you can, get ready to run, and then he's going to turn back and bring the staff down once more on the lock.
Gotcha. So you're gonna smash through, and the idea is like you guys are just gonna go in there, grab some loot, and run.
Yep. I mean, Davros will, if they come through, then obviously might have to fight a
Yeah.
retreating thing. But yeah,
But if all works out fine, it's grab some shit and run.
yeah.
So at present, I'm gonna say, yeah, you guys get in there and you can grab some goods. They still seem to be fumbling with the locks as you guys are coming out. As far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna say you guys can grab like a small like box basically each. And it's just kind of like roughly boxed goods in this place. No real chance to identify or to look through what is in each one. But we'll kind of say, like, this is your chance to grab and run. If you can get away, we'll see what's inside once you have a chance to look inside. Sound good?
Yeah, I think Davros is going to basically, just grab like whatever, kind of like the first thing that he can carry, and he might try to, actually before he does that, before he grabs it, he's going to kind of take out a javelin, and he's not trying to hit the thing on the other side. He's essentially just trying to like
You want
scare
to
it,
break
maybe
the
make
lock?
it drop its
Okay.
key for like to give us like a couple extra seconds maybe before grabbing the thing and hightailing it out of there. Almost
Are
as
you
if to try to
throwing
like
it?
startle it.
Or are you
Like
saying you're trying to intimidate it?
no, like throwing the javelin against the gate to essentially try to startle it, like for a few seconds while it's
Gotcha.
trying to get the door open.
Roll a d20. Roll a range attack for me.
2, and then it would be if it's an attack, that would
Yeah.
be
That's not going to matter. That's just going to reflect off of the steel. So when the other two of you, are you both going in and grabbing a chest basically and booking it out?
Yeah, Malchen is just heading in, taking what he can, and I telling you that.
Yeah, I'll grab a chest too. Is it possible if I just kind of like sneak a peek out of the corner of my eye and see, how many of them or what's going on over there?
As you rush in, you can see that there's two of the humanoid rats, and there are like three of these like larger, giant rats inside of there.
All right, I'll stick to the plan for now. So, I mean, obviously, I'll relay to them if they didn't notice already what's over there.
Oh yeah, basically, I will give you that first little bit of kind of intimidation factor / distraction factor. They don't unlock the gate this round either. The other two can make it like, another 30 or so feet out of this room while you're kind of like left behind. But I think that's about where you'll kind of like find yourselves right here is where you are basically throwing this javelin, picking up your box, and they're already kind of like well back outside of the room. And yeah, do you guys think you are just going to run? Do you want to? Do you have any ideas of anything else that can try to help you get free on this next bit of movement? What are you all thinking here?
Yeah, Davros doesn't really have anything to like kind of drop or yeah, he's essentially just booking it.
Gotcha. From that point, you're booking it.
I mean, he wants to stay behind Jinx or so essentially between Jinx, Malchen, and the things, but he's essentially like following behind them as closely as possible.
Can I do as soon as Davros like comes through the like gate walkway that he busted down or whatever? Can I put like a minor illusion? It's only like a 5 foot square, but can I just make it look like the ground kind of like fell away, like there's a pit there, like the same way like the wall kind of caved in when we were coming in, just that kind of look.
Does it take somatic? What are the spell components with that one?
Yeah, it's SM, a bit of fleece.
Yes. Verbal. Wait. That's material and somatic. Um, you can delay your movement kind of just as much as like he can catch up to you. But effectively you can't like carry your crate, run, and cast that spell because that's going to require you to manipulate your spell focus as well as do like hand movements to cast it.
Yeah, I'll do that if that's okay then.
Any thoughts from you, Malchin? What are you doing?
I've just been thinking. I have an essence of ether that's supposed to be like a poison you inhale. I'm just trying to think. Would it work like if I threw it at their feet? They inhale that? Or is that like basically chloroform inhaled?
Yeah, that's kind of a weird one. It doesn't seem to have an area of effect, which makes me think it is meant to be kind of like chloroform, where you apply it to like a piece of towel and you like surprise somebody walking up behind them so they take a breath of the ether. Not necessarily that you can just smash the ether. You could certainly try, but you might also know that essence of ether is quite valuable of a poison. So it's questionable, but you could certainly try if you would like to.
Yeah, and I'll probably just take a chest and book it, so to say. Don't really have anything I can do to stall them. What I have on me.
So sound good then if Malchin continues to run, basically.
Yeah, that's what it'll do.
Alrighty, Jinx, roll a d4 for me, please.
2.
Alright, so that's your normal spell DC then of a 14. Looking like I'm gonna hit the 14, so they'll unlock the door. on this go, and then this is to see. So you were gonna do like the cave in basically at that gate.
Yeah, so it looks like there's like suddenly like a cave-in pit, like they would fall in to try to go through.
It was so close to the one. But yeah, I think as they kind of pour through behind you, um, damn, should I roll for all of them? It seems weird to not roll for all of them.
It's only a 5-foot area too, so it's not like, oh, this is like impassable forever type thing, you know?
Yeah. But it is solid, like how that's effectively a gate, anyways. D&D smokes so much crack by not using actual hypotenuses. So what is that? Like 3 passing? The 19 got bumped into, and it still ended up with a 19. Your spell DC is a 14. I feel like a 10 is a fail. I don't think anything's wise enough. It's a wisdom save as well,
Yeah, it's
or
14.
intelligence. My bad, Jinx. Was that intelligence save or is it wisdom for minor illusion?
It says it is a spell save DC. Image can't create sound lights, man.
Like when they inspect it. My bad. It only matters because these rats actually have intelligence.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it's intelligence. It says successful intelligence investigation check against your spell save DC.
Yeah, it's not even a fucking crackhead. So it'll stop 3 of them in their tracks. Yeah, so you just see 2 of them are going to rush out to you all. One of them is one of the like larger like rat folk, kind of like yelling and hollering as you come out. And let's see. Yeah, he's actually going to. I think he's going to make a bonus action to dash and actually get to you with this. And then he is going to try to stab a dagger into. Does Davros? I'm going to stab a dagger into. Of course, it's going to cock onto 2, so it's going to go for Jinx. Is that a concentration spell, or is it just like lasts for a certain amount of time and like that's it?
I believe it's just for like 1 minute.
Gotcha. So I think he's going to miss you with an 11, 12, 13 as he tries to stab into you with his dagger. And the rat can't make it any further than it went. So I think this is just where we'll kind of take this into an actual initiative. As Malchen, you probably hear behind you effectively as like one of these things is like just kind of yelling out like I've got you now. And it's just gonna kind of like stab out. And you might hear like the ring of the dagger clinking against the wall of the cavern as like Jinx is kind of moving away. But let's go to an initiative here.
19 for Davros.
A 5 for Malchen.
And 15 for Jinx.
Alrighty. We are going to pick up with one of the giant rats clearing its way. It's going to go after Are you fucking kidding me? I can't believe how many cocked dice that I get on this system. Yeah, so Davros and should miss it. Oh, it's like right between. It's a 7 and a 3. So a total of 12 to hit Davros. I think that's a miss. And then it's going to go to you, Davros.
Yeah, so Davros kind of, as they catch back up to him, he's going to kind of turn back, kind of manage to evade that rat, and he's going to be going to shout, Malchen, need your help. But then he is going to, as the rat is kind of stabbing at Jinx and saying, got you now, he's going to hope this works, and he's going to hold the staff out, and now he's going to speak the command word and basically try to roast these rat things with burning hands. Save DC of 13, I believe. Oof, only 6 damage. I think it's 3d6, right?
Sounds about right. Dexterity save on that one?
Yep, DC 13. It's half damage on a save.
So all of these are +2. So I've got a 14, 11, 15. So 2 are going to save, 1 fails. The failure is going to be just the closest one to you that just attacked you. And that one's going to be severely burned and like charred from these wounds. And then he's so technically all 3 of those are now under 10 hit points. None of these are incredibly like healthy creatures that can like stand up to a lot of damage. Oh, I did that wrong. My bad. Never mind. That rat man is much healthier. So you got damage on those 3. The 2 rats are at least much closer to death. One of them is severely wounded, effectively on the edge of death. And I think we're gonna go to the other of those giant rats. It's gonna go after Jinx. Stopping on 19 should be a hit, and it's going to do. I think that is 6 damage to you, Jinx. And then-
bloody or however you do it.
Yeah, it's weird because under 10 hit points is normally where I do the mortally wounded, but under half is bloodied as well. But it will go to you then, there, Jinx.
I'm gonna take disengage action.
Gotcha. Disengage and then run away.
Yep, that's it. Disengage and run away. Well, no, I went 20. I have 20. I don't know exactly where that goes to.
20 movement.
Yeah, walking speed 20.
Oh, it's probably got you encumbered. Realistically, because you guys live in a city, you don't have to carry all of your things on the same level. That's part of why I'm using the different encumbrance rules. So theoretically, you don't have all of your gear. You can move the full 30.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I didn't even realize it was from encumbrance. I was just thinking my speed was 20.
Let's see. The rat man that is still behind the gate doesn't seem to be like moving past the cave-in. He is going to draw out a crossbow and take a shot at Davros here. Looks like it's going to stop on the 4, so that should be a miss as the crossbow just kind of like flies wide, pings off the wall, and just kind of like reflects into that room. And that should take us to Malchen?
All right. Yeah, having heard Davros saying all for the help, so he's gonna drop what he's carrying, pull out the bow, and run back a bit.
So I think Hunter's Mark has like a long active time that you have it. I'm pretty sure you can still, if you would like to, bonus action apply Hunter's Mark. Because I think that's concentration for quite a long time.
Yeah, at the level 1, it's just for 1 hour.
Okay, so yeah, then it would have gone away when you guys rested. I got you.
But I am gonna bonus action Hunter's Mark. I'm gonna try to take out the one of the smaller rats, the one to the left of the rat man with 7. I think there's a 3 under it. Yeah, like the rat with a 3 on it.
Gotcha.
That is a horrible shot. That's a 10.
And 10 is not enough to hit these big guys. It just kind of like stabs into like the fur and like mat of its flesh. The rat doesn't even like react as the arrow like skims across its flesh.
Oh, and said it, but I was gonna like 100 spark that as well. But doesn't matter if it doesn't hit, but that has the hunter's mark on it for now. I think that's it for Malsham at the moment.
The last rat is going to rush out and also go for Davros here. Looks like it's going to stop on the 8. That should miss with an 11. And it's going to go to, was it the most injured of those rats? Making the same attack here. Looks like that might stop. It's going to stop on a hit. And this is going to deal 6 piercing. And then it will go to you, Davros.
All right. Davros kind of finding himself surrounded. Yeah, I think he's gonna just kind of shouts like, "All right, keep it!" And he's going to drop the chest that he grabbed. He is going to disengage and move and start running back. So like 30 feet.
Roll an improvised weapon attack for me.
Let's see, 3.
You don't even manage to hit any of the rats as you drop that case.
Yeah, I was initially thinking I would essentially like almost like just like try to essentially smash it against the rat's head, but then I wouldn't have been able to disengage and but yeah, he is essentially trying to use that to like get a split second to move before they can stop him, and that's about 30 feet there, just next to Malchen.
Let's see. I forgot. I probably should have checked on that last one. Oh, I'm going to say at this point, the rats are far more like hesitant, kind of getting you away from this point to kind of move forward. I think you're going to find that the actual rats kind of stop back. So at this point, there's no more movement from those actual rats before I'm going to go to Jinx.
So all the rats appear to be like hanging back.
At present, it's kind of like the like giant rats right now are more like snarling than that they're like rushing after, but these are all also like burnt up, like scarred toasty rats.
I gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna just move back to the edge of the like corner, and then I will just hold my action. If any of them like come further out, like pursue us threateningly, I'm gonna do a um. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it. Vicious mockery. That's the one.
Gotcha.
So
So
I'm
you're
just
kind of
kind of
rounding that corner.
yeah, I'm just trying to like kind of give myself a little cover, and then if like they keep coming after, I'll know like okay, they're still hostile, aggro. They're not just like being protective.
So I think this one's going to kind of rush out, and I'm going to do an intimidation as it kind of like yells off to you, like, "Leave our den." Um, Probably not terribly intimidating, but it's trying to get you to go and flee. And I'm gonna put that then to Malchen.
Oh, being as they're not seem to actively pursue us, Malchen is gonna get back to the crate chest he dropped and pick that up.
I didn't really hear that. What were you saying?
Oh, seeing as it don't seem like they're actively pursuing us anymore, like they're just trying to chase us away, Malchen is gonna not putting away his bow yet, like in front of them, but get back to the crate chest that he put down and pick that up again, putting away his
All
bow.
right, when you go to pick up that crate, the guy who like stepped out and like yelled at you guys is going to release a bolt from his crossbow.
All right.
Damn, my bad. It's the other one who's got the crossbow. He's gonna throw a dagger. I didn't give him a good distance on this, but he's gonna throw a dagger at you. My bad.
Now, will my reaction go off after his attack, like, or how does that work?
Um, you can react first. He's gonna be a disadvantage anyways, but yeah, you can react first.
Okay, so I would just vicious mockery him. So roll a d4. So what does that mean? It becomes 15. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm gonna fail to hit regardless. I rolled like a 3. Um, does not seem to be affected by the vicious mockery though.
Okay, so no damage.
Yeah, and then the dagger just like passes right past Malchin as you're like going to lift up that last crate. My bad. I didn't clear the first of the d20s, but the second one is this rat rushing forward to attack Davros. Should miss with a 9, and then it's gonna go to one of the giant rats. Still doesn't want any, and it's gonna go to you, Davros.
All right, so Davros, kind of as this rat gets on him, he is going to um, kind of taking a second hand on the staff. Is going to swing down at it, trying to hit it. Whether or not he hits, he's then going to essentially keep running 30 feet, but he will essentially try to smash it before he does that. And I'm going to use my inspiration to give myself advantage. Should be a 23 to hit.
Solid hits.
For 8 damage total. So essentially, just like pausing just long enough to swing at it and then keep moving.
Yeah, that'll be a kill on that rat. Another one of the giant rats. I think they're relatively out of range on you guys at this point, but they could probably dash and catch up still. And just kind of like rushing forward and like snarling at you guys, but not actually like closing the full distance. Oh, wait, yeah, it actually can close the full distance. It's going to get right between the two of you, so whichever one tries to move away, it gets to attack. I don't think it's necessarily that smart, so that's probably a little bit stupid. Gonna go for Davros. And that's gonna take us to Jinx.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and vicious mockery the rat that is like right at their feet.
It's got a straight 13, so you're good with the normal. D4.
Mighty 1 damage.
So it'll have disadvantage on its next attack. Technically
Okay.
now at 50% health.
All right, and then I'm just gonna say, what are we doing? We should keep moving, or and then I'm just gonna take a few more steps back.
Next in order is dead. No, it's one of the rat folk. Bam. I think he'll just move up to here. He is going to take a shot at Malchen with crossbow. Big ol' miss with a 3. It's going to be like a 9 total. And that will take us to Malchen.
Yeah, not wanting to drop the crate again, I guess. I'm gonna try to bash the rat with the crate. If I can. Might break it, but yeah, sure.
Wait, like you're going to throw the crate down on top of the rat?
No, more like I'm trying to smash it with the crate still holding it.
It's a tiny creature, so I'm gonna say you can make a dexterity check to see if you can maintain your hold as you try to do this. Otherwise, you could do an improvised attack and try to kick it and not risk losing the crate. But trying to smash it with the crate, you're gonna risk losing the crate.
Alright, and then I'll try to kick it instead.
Yeah, so just do an improvised attack.
Oh, it was so close to the 18, but that's a 4.
Gotcha. So you kick for it. The creature's just too small. Do you want to move and try to disengage, like run away from this?
Yeah, I'll take my chances and try to run away. Let's see.
It has disadvantage trying to bite out at you as you run. Oh, wait, no, I said it's going to be on Davros. My bad. It's too much to say that a rat has the strategy to move up to both of you. My apologies, Davros. That goes to the rogue again. I think it's just gonna move up, call you all thieving bastards, and it's gonna take a shot at. I'm gonna say anything with 5 or a 6. Yeah, it's gonna go for Davros here, and just huck some knives at you real quick. If it rolls over onto the 15, 17 to hit should hit.
Yep.
And 5 more damage of piercing as it throws another dagger into you.
All right, so you'll see Davros finally looking bloodied, badly wounded at that point. Kind of lets out a gasp of pain as the dagger hits home.
What was the last thing?
Oh, just like the rat that's like way back towards the gate is still like holding off. It's not rushing out. But it's on Davros.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that. Yeah, so Davros is kind of like gritting his teeth as the dagger hits in. He's going to turn back, probably recklessly, and recklessly swing at the rat that's still on him. Yeah, 19 plus whatever should hit that.
Yeah, solid hit. I'm not sure if you can not kill that thing when you hit it.
5 damage. Or no, sorry, it's a D4. I have to actually roll the fire damage. 2 damage total.
Plus your strength though?
Oh yeah, plus 3, so 5. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, wait, I thought you did your regular damage with the staff, plus the fire damage, plus your strength modifier.
Yep, I rolled 2 1s for the bludgeoning and the fire damage, so it was 2 plus my strength. So yeah, still only 5.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that.
But it's his absolute minimum. That's why I was saying, like, I'm pretty sure that's an auto kill if you hit that guy. So yeah, when you turn around to smash that rat, you will kill that one. This just now basically is going to put you guys at even action economy in this battle. Technically a little bit of it advantageous because one of the rats is still not following you guys. But Davros can flee. That giant rat is now dead, so it goes to Jinx.
I'm gonna like look over at them, and you said at this point in time, I guess when Davros comes around the corner, I'll notice he's like bloodied. What condition is Malchen in?
Davros is under 10 hit points now, right? And also under 50%?
Yeah, so he's badly wounded, mortally wounded. He's like, you'll see, he's got his hand up to maybe his shoulder where the knife went in, and it's like bleeding through his fingers, so he's not in good shape.
And then how's Malchen doing right now?
He hasn't been hit yet, so
Gotcha. So technically everybody I think is under 10 hit points where you're mortally wounded. But Davros is in fact also bloodied.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go for. If you do an intimidation check, that takes your action, right?
Oh, what are you trying to do?
Well, I was thinking I would like yell an intimidation at them, but I don't know if that's worth using my action or if I should just go for vicious mockery and try to make them disadvantaged.
If you want to yell an intimidation, I'll let you roll it without using an action. It's just not necessarily as effective. It's kind of like a higher DC kind of thing.
All right,
That's why, like, when I rolled mine, it was more like I'm saying, like, I'm gonna do an intimidation check. But when I rolled it, I was like, but that's all it is. It's just like somebody yells some shit talk to you. I didn't even ask you guys to do anything regarding it because it was far more that he was just saying something.
All right, I'm just gonna yell out at him. Don't follow us. If you want to live, take another step, and your life you give. And I'm gonna do vicious mockery on him and try to like intimidate him to just like not follow us anymore.
Yeah, so for that, I mean, I'll stick with the vicious mockery anyways. And just let me get that D4.
It was 1, so it'd be like I think 13.
I rolled a nat 1. I think that's a solid reason to say he's certainly going to kind of heed the warning at present.
He is gonna take a massive 1 damage. Also, let's note that down. I think I rolled 1 like every time for vicious mockery.
Yeah, the crazy thing is that. Oh wait, no, it's the other one. Gotcha. Yeah. So from you goes to the other rat folk.
Oh, Oh, sorry. And after I do that, I'm actually going to move my distance too.
Oh, like he was closer. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for a shot at. Gonna go for Malchen. Just a crossbow bolt. Looking like 15. I think that's your. Or looking like a 17. That's definitely over.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that should be enough to drop you with a total of 8 piercing damage.
Oh yeah, that drops me. God damn.
So as he like moves up and takes this crossbow bolt, he's like, we'll let you live if you leave our loot. And basically like releases like after releasing that crossbow bolt and taking down Malchen, that will then go to Malchen for a death saving throw.
Look, that's an 18.
Gotcha. The next rat like kind of closes up with like daggers ready. Um, and he'll basically reply like with the same idea, like, our loot, your lives, take him and go. And then I think that giant rat is hanging out behind. Go to Davros.
Yeah, so assuming Malchin, when he dropped the crate beside him, Davros is going to like I said, keep it, and he's going to essentially try to like with his foot kick. I don't know how heavy it is, but essentially like kind of slide kick the along the ground, like the chest or crate back towards the rats as he grabs Malchin and tries to start dragging him back towards Jinx.
I'm gonna say, regardless of this roll, probably that the kick doesn't go unnoticed. Um, it's gonna drop to the 2. So that should be that it almost goes unnoticed. Yeah, there's no reaction when you like kick it and go to grab Malchin. But yeah, if you guys flee with Malchin at this point, that's where I'm gonna say we are finished here.
Yeah, it was more. It wasn't like essentially trying to kick it like to hit them. It was more like kicking it back towards them and being like, "Yeah, fine. It's like it's yours. We're out of here," kind of thing.
Yeah, I was thinking it was a good opportunity though for those crates to be hefty enough that they are not simply
Oh,
like
just like
a
break
quick.
my foot. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a nice thought because I was straight up wondering. It was like I wondered like what level of he could actually move this thing. Um, but yeah, I feel like I don't know the way like I actually like generated the rats on that one. That was a tough fight regardless. But definitely I feel like that's a solid result. Is there were some rat deaths, but they did get the crates back, and you guys flee with what you have. And at present, we'll kind of end it there. As far as things go with the commissar's men, you guys can collect the actual gold. I'm not going to tell you you have to wait for it. I think we had you at about 30, so you guys can collect 30 gold apiece from the actual rat tails there.
And Davros is going to. So Davros is basically he wants to pay back Malchin for however much he spent for um, to help rescue Dalton. So he's going to give half of his share to Malchin. So he'll keep 15 because he needs a little bit of cash for. He's got probably guild dues coming up, but he will give Malchin the other half of his share of that, and he'll throw the coin pouch in with the rest of the loot. So I think it was 1 platinum, 1 gold, 2 silver, and 1 copper. So maybe he'll just keep the silver and the copper and put the 11 gold in with the rest of the loot.
Yeah, just call that 12 gold so everybody can get another 4 gold. So what if you keep 19 on Davros, Malchin can have 49 and Jinx can take 34?
Well, may not have gotten the fame, but certainly got the fortune. 34 gold pieces. Woo!
You got closer to that area. But yeah, that was definitely meant to be like kind of a treasure trove over there, and you guys have kind of like a sense of what it is. Um, Perhaps with the second time that you guys raided it, it may not be as such in the future. But this is something for you guys to like. That rat plague is going to be something that is an issue continuing forward. I will add up the experience. I'll set it on your characters once I actually have everything figured out. But it is entirely likely, even with 3 players, what you guys went through today, that you'll be um, well into level 2 for Jinx, and then the other 2 of you um, might have jumped forward quite a bit towards level 3 as well. Because at this point, it's exponential how much you can actually take on from level 1 to level 2.
Yeah. Chris, so it looks like it would be 34 gold apiece. Davros is going to give half of that to Malchen, so I think Malchen can take 51 and Davros will take 17. And then obviously Jinx gets his 34.
Right. Yeah, Malchen won't turn that down.
I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's session. I've been your Dungeon Master Marathustra. My name's Jared, Keeper of Secrets and Lore here at Dice Never Lie Gaming Network. Thank you very much for checking us out. If you have any questions about the session, please don't hesitate to comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Everybody have a wonderful weekend here. We'll be streaming Saturday and Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard.